Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
Hey, I want to talk to you about Audible. Audible lets you enjoy all your audio entertainment in one app. You'll always find the best of what you love or something new to discover.
Audible offers incredible selection of audiobooks across every genre, from bestsellers and new releases to celebrity memoirs, mysteries and thrillers, motivation, wellness, business. Look, my personal favorite is motivation, so I've always got my Audible app fired up.
Right now, I'm reading The Plot. Although by this reading, I should say I'm listening to it on Audible.
The Audible app makes it easy to listen anytime, anywhere, while traveling, working out, walking, doing chores. You decide.
Try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500. That's audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500.
Even the Rich is a podcast from Wondery that tells the jaw-dropping stories about the tumultuous lives of the world's elite. From the greatest family dynasties to pop culture superstars.
Listen to Even the Rich on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Well, hello, and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast for all that crap we love to talk about on Ye Olde Brovs. I'm Ronnie. Guess who I'm with? It's Ben. Little cutie pie Ben. Hi, Ben.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. I mean, I can promise you this much. I'm never going to cheat on you for 8 months and then fucking tell Howie Mandel about it.
You better not. You better not lop off the KER of my name and go to a different Mandel. Okay.
I will wait for a better interviewer to talk shit about you. I promise you that, my little love muffin.
Please, if we have a terrible falling out and it gets really dramatic and there's scandal involved, my only request of you, two requests. Don't make out with someone in our group. But also, please tell your side of the story on a podcast that's, not embarrassing.
That is embarrassing. That was embarrassing. So, everybody, welcome.
Katie Couric, or
nothing
does
less
Diane
than
Sawyer
Oprah.
have something?
The only lesser
Super
Oprah
Soul.
I will take is Gayle King. Okay?
I would even accept Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen, no. He wouldn't even let me in his church.
I'm just saying. At least, there's got to be something better than Howie Mandel's podcast. I actually have nothing against Howie Mandel.
We're actually going to have a breakup trying to decide who we're going to be interviewed by. I cannot believe you just said Joel Osteen. That's so embarrassing.
Okay, so you prefer to have Howie Mandel versus Joe
Oprah.
Osteen. Okay,
Oprah.
I guess Howie Mandel isn't actually problematic, so that helps.
He is now. I don't think Howie Mandel really realized how canceled he was about to be when he went to work yesterday. Much like we never know how canceled we're going to be when we come into work for Vanderpump Rules Day. So welcome, everybody, for Vanderpump Rules. That was a joke, everybody, okay? We're not.
No, I'm going to get hate mail being like, Ben, I know it was a joke, but Joel Osteen has done some terrible things that you shouldn't even joke about on your podcast. You're amplifying his voice and giving him a platform.
He has. I mean, he turned away hurricane victims and shit because he didn't want to get his church dirty. I mean, fuck that queen. I'll say that.
He spends all that money on private planes, etc. I just don't think that people, I don't feel like religious leaders should have private planes. That's just my general
I don't think Jesus would really like that. I'm just going to go. I can't speak for Jesus, but he can speak through me. He doesn't like it. Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody, welcome to the show today. Vanderpump Rules Day, big day. We also did a bonus this week, which was a recap of the Schwartz Watch What Happens Live episode, which was pretty bad. I mean, that was one day of TV this week where we thought, wow, well, God, the men on this show couldn't look any worse this week. And then came time number 2. So before we get into that, we are back on tour next week. We're until the end of June, basically, but we've had a couple weeks to chill at home. Next week, we're heading to Toronto. That one's sold out. But the next night, the 22nd, is in Philadelphia. That is not sold out. It's a huge theater. Come see that. It's going to be fun. And it's going to be a Vanderpump Rules recap. So the next Vanderpump Rules recap after this will be on the weekend for those of you just listening. And for those of you wanting to watch live, that's where you're going to do it. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In Toronto, we'll be doing Real Housewives of New Jersey. Then in May, we are in New York at Town Hall, another huge one. Washington, D.C., another huge one. So please go buy tickets for those, okay? We don't want Ben to look stupid. Mm-hmm. And then in
Not
June,
after that
we
Joel
finish...
Osteen comment.
And then after that, in June, we end up in San Diego, St. Paul, Chicago, Columbus, Boston, and Mashantucket at the Foxwoods Casino and Resort. A big finale. So go get your tickets at watchwhatcrappens.com. Not what they don't sell. They don't sell for us. watchwhatcrappens.com. So let's get into it. So
I just want to give a shout out, by the way. I got a shout out. CNN did a piece about top 26 cookbooks to get that our friend Jolie wrote. And I was very fortunate to be included in that article. So go look that up and support that article. So thanks for including me, Jolie.
You have a cookbook?
No. It's an article about the top 26 cookbooks to buy right now.
Oh, and you're quoted in the article? How cool.
So I'm just saying, like, go, because our friend Jolie wrote it. So I was going to say, everyone go click on it, give it some nice impressions and traffic.
That is so badass. Congrats. Where is it on now?
It's on CNN. So I don't have I think it's CNN/this/that/that. So just look up something about cookbooks and CNN.
That is awesome, Ben. Congratulations. So everybody just search Lamestream Media, Ben Mandel.
Just look fake news /cookbooks.
Okay. So this Howie Mandel thing, people have gone crazy. This came out, I guess, yesterday. It apparently happened because Howie knows someone who works with Tom, like his drummer or something like that. And so, first off, you didn't listen to this, right? This Howie thing.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I'm still sort of like processing that whole Schwartz thing, and I'm like, I just don't think I can dive into Sandoval just saying bullshit on Howie Mandel's podcast. And the truth is, we're joking. I don't have anything against Howie Mandel. It just is such a random place to have like an expose that I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm just like, I don't want, because I'm like, I don't go to Howie Mandel also for like Bravo stuff. I don't go to him for Bravo stuff, and I don't go to him for like hard-hitting questions.
For anything. Like nothing.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to listen to this because it's not going to be the right forum. Like I either want someone to be asking tough questions, or I want like someone who really knows their Bravo. So I was like, I don't know if I can do this.
Well, he did it with his daughter. His co-host is his daughter, Jackie. And so she's like obsessed with the show. I'm like so obsessed with that. So I guess they have like a father-daughter thing going on for their podcast, which is cute, you know. But he literally doesn't know anything about it. So she does, but she's also, you know, not going to really be hard on Tom Sandoval, you know, because she's kind of fanning out at the same time. So basically, this starts really awkwardly. And by the way, this isn't a full recap. I only got halfway through it. I was listening to it driving around and yelling at the Howie on the screen. Mm-hmm. But I didn't listen to the whole thing. Just in general, though, Howie, you don't need to have people walk in at the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, have them sit down before you start the podcast. Because he does this thing like, hey, it's me, Howie. We're going to talk to our guest today. It's unbelievable. He's about to walk in. Okay, it is Tom. Okay, walk over here. Okay, yeah, sit there. Okay, yeah, it's going to be that mic. Okay, yeah, sit on that mic. So go ahead and take that one. Okay, Tom's here. Tom, he's like, hey, dude. So first of all, just a general podcast note. Maybe have everybody sitting down first in general. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's trivial. So then they start talking about how Howie knows Tom, and they were at they have a mutual friend, and they were both at the wedding. And of course, as we know, happens at weddings with Tom Sandoval, he gets up and sings a song. He gives everybody a nice rendition of something because it's Tom. So he's like, yeah, and if I recall correctly, Tom, you sang. And Tom goes, actually, yeah, that was Toto Africa, I believe. So it's like, oh, so already I'm grossed out.
Yeah.
Not that song's gross or anything, but just because Tom's taking himself so seriously as an artist, and you got to LOL, you know?
Yeah.
So then he starts finally when it gets into the breakup and stuff, the way he talks about it is just so gross. The gist of it is that he and Ariana hadn't been a couple for a really long time because she's really mean to him and he's really nice, he's like really nice and open. And they were both suffering depression. But when Tom has depression, it's like happy person depression, guys. He goes out, he like hangs out with his friends and is generally nice to people. Whereas Ariana just stays in bed all day and, isolates herself and it's just horrible to be around when she's depressed. So
you gotta love that in a romantic partner. Like, ew, my long-term girlfriend's depressed. Ew, she just stays in bed. Gross.
Grossest depression I've ever experienced was in my partner. Ew, don't recommend it to anybody. So he basically says that after boys' night, he confirms that it was after boys' night that he hung out with Brett from the bar and Raquel, and they ended up going to See You Next Tuesday, and then they ended up back at Tom's place, Ariana's home, and Raquel and Tom got really close, and Howie's like, in your own backyard? And he's like, well, bro, come on, we've got like a fire pit. Okay, we've got like a fire pit back there, and so we were talking, and then like we just like made out, and like let me tell you, I've never felt anything like that because I was just hurting so bad, and it brought me back to life. It's like, you are just such a hacky middle-aged loser. Like, you are such a stereotype, dude. It's like you turn, and also because he turned 40 and he's like, and it was like some kind of life crisis. Yeah, a midlife crisis, Tom. Mm-hmm. That's literally what they're called. You fucknut.
And Ariana's like inside mourning her dog. That guy's night happened during that Arizona vacation, and Ariana left that vacation because her dog died. So she's in there in a state of mourning and sad and depressed, and Tom is in the backyard making out with Raquel. That is so bad.
That's really bad. But he makes it very romantic, because we were so, like, she brought him back to life, dude. And it's, like, deeper than you can imagine. It wasn't just some makeout. It was deep. So then he keeps using a lot of Schwartz type language where he's like, well, I was trying to break up with her. And I told her we were broken up. And it went unspoken. I'm like, well, did you tell her or did it go unspoken? You fucking liar. He just lies. The whole thing is lies and lies. And then Howie's justifying everything he's telling him because Howie's hearing only this. He doesn't watch a show. So Howie's just like, well, that's normal. You get in a relationship, then things start to go sour, then you grow apart, and then you start having feelings for someone else. Totally normal, dude. Like, great, good for you, Yeah,
but you end one relationship before you move on to the next.
Which his daughter did say, but she said it like this. Yeah, but, like, I feel like when you do that, you should, maybe, break up with the person first. Like, oh, my God. And also, after Tom said, and I was on the phone, and, when I broke up with her, when I was kissing Raquel, I'm sorry, it's a long interview. He's like, when I'm kissing Raquel, and my whole life, you don't even understand. Everything came back to me. I felt something like I'd never felt before. And then you hear, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. She's like, oh my God, sorry, forgot to turn off my ringer. Ah!
Oh gosh.
She takes his faux serious moment and just ruins it. But yeah, so far the gist is just that everything is Ariana's fault because she's a moody bitch and that he wanted to break up with her a million times. He's like, but dude, you don't understand because she's really hard, but because if she feels like she's not winning an argument, she flips over the Monopoly board and just leaves the room. But also it's not just that we're a couple, we're a brand. And he said he described them as a brand about 10 times at least.
They're literally not a brand.
You're not a brand.
They have a book. That's not a brand. A book is not a brand. Okay. And if it were a brand, then they'd have another book by now.
You don't even have a couple name. Like, you don't even have a Tom Rihanna
They actually
or an
don't. That's so
Ariane
funny.
Tom
You
or
don't.
Sand Mix or whatever. Like, you don't
Yeah.
even have a couple name. You're not a fucking brand, you fucking loser. And he's like, well, I feel like I'm in the royal family or something. I'm just from a reality show, and I can't believe, it's like ruined everything. And, Snooki, I mean, I'm just a reality guy. It's like Snooki has an affair with someone no one cares. You're no Snooki either. So I don't know who the fuck you think you are. You have name recognition now because you're a piece of shit with your Sandoval, But this is very infuriating.
You can't say, "Oh my goodness, like why are people so invested in me?" and then also say, "Oh, we're a brand." Like announcing that you're a brand literally implies that people are invested in you, like that people care enough that you are now an entity that's like worthy of making money. And so you can't be like, well, we're a brand, there's like a lot to lose, and then say, oh, why do people care so much? Like, well, you just said it because you're on this show. I mean, it is kind of amazing how much Sandoval has like been one of these transcendent scandals that has like, it's not just like, oh, Tom and Luann broke up, which was like that was a fun, frothy scandal that we all just sort of like loved. But, we've seen cheating scandals before, but this one's just on another level. And I think it's just like the perfect storm of a scenario wherein you have one narrative playing out on TV that's totally counter to what is happening in real life. And it's just like, it's crazy. But he just sounds like a piece of shit on this podcast. I've seen some
it gets worse. Yeah. Are you looking at the quotes now? Go for it.
Yeah, I was looking at some of them, but no, I'm just saying, like, even from yesterday, you were telling me some stuff, but like, it just sounds like the fact that he's like blaming it on her depression, like that's just one of the grossest things that people do, And I understand that it's probably difficult and challenging if you have a partner who's going through something like that. I don't know what one does, but I think this is not what one does. I think there are probably resources you can turn to. So then what because I'm looking on Reddit here. You sent me a Reddit link that someone summarized this whole thing.
Yeah. So this is from the Vanderpump Rules subreddit. So thank you guys over there for doing this whole thing. What's the username? Let me look at the username. This was by _ Killer Tofu 21. So thanks for I like that. Killer Tofu. So thanks for putting this together. It is extensive. If anybody wants to read a really long, point by point interview recap, go check this out on Vanderpump Rules subreddit. But one of the things that this is not, I didn't hear this part because I'm only halfway through, but she says, or they say, so I listened to the whole thing. I'm not sure we can confidently say Sandoval said Ariana threatened suicide. And then it says ETA number 3. I went back and listened and I was wrong. This exact quote happens at 56 minutes. Trigger warning. So you've been trigger warned. Okay. And Tom says, it was just like fully in denial. It scared me. It really scared me. You say, why didn't you just break up with her then? It's because of the threat of suicide, the threat of self-sabotaging. You know how much that hurts me. She's been on the show and going to throw that away. So I guess he's claiming that she said, I heard him say, and I'm not claiming that he didn't say this, but at around the 30-minute mark, he said something along the lines of, I was hinting at her that I wanted to break up because after he kissed Raquel, supposedly started going to therapy because he needed to figure out how to get with Raquel or figure out his feelings or whatever. And then he asked Raquel to go to couples therapy. So they went to a couple of couples therapy. No, with Ariana. Oh. So they went to a couple of couples therapy, and he was going to try and break up with her in couples therapy, which is so shitty because in one way, it's like, okay, well, that's the best thing. You're going to do this with a therapist around so you don't make mistakes. But on the other, you're giving somebody hope that you're trying to work something out when you're really just there to break up with them, right? Mm-hmm. So then he says almost angrily that, and then after that, she became like amazing. It was like crazy. Like she was so nice and she was so great. And she actually asked me like a couple of times I was talking and she would say, you know what? Good point, Tom. I can really see what you're saying there. Like, who is this? Like, really? You think I'm smart? And whoever gets that Ariana is going to be a really lucky person. Whoever gets that version. I was like, fuck. you. And then he's mad at her for suddenly becoming nice. That's what you do in therapy. She's seeing that you need more from her, and she's giving you more. And meanwhile, you're fucking one of her best friends. I mean, absolute garbage human being. And of course, made himself the victim the whole time, then has Howie kissing his ass the whole time and telling him how normal all of this is and how this is just a part of life and this is great. You know, really not good stuff. I will finish listening to it later. I don't know how much I need to talk about it. Look how long I've already went off just by myself. I don't know that
I'm glad you I applaud you for doing the homework that I should have done, but I just wasn't ready to do it yet. I was like, people were like, oh, it's this. Everyone was saying, oh, you gotta listen. And I wasn't there yet. And plus also everyone's like, you gotta do a recap of it. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. We are doing so many episodes right now, and we are touring and all this stuff. I was like, I'm just not going to add a recap of the Howie Mandel podcast onto our plates right now. You know, I got a lot on my plate.
Well, some recaps, usually recaps are super fun for us because you get to like imitate the different people. Like the Watch What Happens recap was fun. It's like we get to make Andy jokes and like gold suit jokes about that kid and stuff. But this is just Howie Mandel doesn't pay attention, doesn't know what's going on. He's not even a part of anything, knows nothing. Jacqueline was fine, but this is basically just a platform for Tom Sandoval to lie his ass without much of a challenge for a solid hour. So fuck you, fuck him. I'm not gonna. That's it. I gave you half my hour. That's all you're getting, sir. I'm sure I'm going to have to listen to your drivel and your lies many more times throughout my life.
We have a whole reunion for him to spew all this garbage, and I will say I think it's funny that like the last point on this Reddit thing is that he shaved off his mustache to signify new beginnings, dude. I was like, wow, what a beautiful symbolic sacrifice that you made, shaving off your porn stash.
And Howie Mandel's thing, Howie Mandel's just like, oh my God, I'm so wacky and funny, I shaved his mustache. Howie Mandel's thing is always about cleanliness and germs. Like he won't shake hands with people because he doesn't want germs. How would you have any cast member from Vanderpump Rules if you're really that germophobic?
Yeah.
Stupid. And then he was saying, oh, my message about life being Howie Mandel is I'm all about mental health and talking about depression and really, getting that message out there. And so this whole thing was Howie making it like, yes, Tom, what I'm hearing is you're a man with depression. A man who, I'm like, stop projecting your fucking depression bullshit onto this. Also, you've got him talking about someone where he's basically criticizing this girl's mental health and blaming it for his actions throughout the entire interview. Shut up with your faux mental health woke bullshit, sir.
Well, anyway, why don't we move on to the recap?
Poor Ben. But anyway, let's
move on to the recap.
Hold on, let me let that go.
Episode.
Let me let it go.
I was about to say, I was like, I don't want to fall too much into like. I want to appreciate the fact that this episode of Vanderpump Rules was pretty amazing. I was like, this is a great episode. It just had it all. I was like very entertained by it. There was just like a lot of ridiculousness on display, and but it's also a supersized one. So we should just dive in.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
Hello there, podcast listeners. My name is Justin Long. I'm an actor, but I also have a podcast called Life is Short. I've been doing it for a couple years with my brother Christian. We've been having so much fun, in fact, that we decided to do another one, a spin-off show.
We should say what the name is, right?
Oh, yeah, it's called Life is Shorter.
It's a very important part of this promo.
And that's my brother. That's him. That's Christian. And he keeps me honest, and he is critical in a very positive way, I would say. He's a brother. He's my brother.
And I like to hit all the information. I like to hit all the points.
Yes.
And most important of which is the name of our spin-off podcast called Life is Shorter. It's a spin-off on Life is Short. So if you like puns and podcasts and brothers and us, then you might want to listen on Friday.
Yeah. If you'd like to hear more of this banter, check out Life is Shorter every Friday, wherever you're getting your podcasts, wherever you're listening to this.
So it opens up where we left off was Scwartz and Raquel making out in full sight of literally everyone and just barely Katie. It looked like, but very easy for Katie to see because the producers put Katie's table basically on the threshold. Like she basically is having dinner behind like the catering bar at this party that Scheana's having. So they're making out. Brock
and also,
is cheering
just
in
to
the
set
background.
this up, they're not only making out, they walk through the pool to be at the center table in the pool that is in the center of the entire party. And they're kissing
it's
where
lit by
everybody.
production.
Yes.
There's lights there from production. So they're like probably under a spotlight.
Where everybody is screaming and yelling and cheering for them to kiss. Brock basically being the leader of that, by the way. Just in case I was taking up.
I have to say, last week when they kissed and you hear the "Whoa!" in the background, I just thought they sort of like pasted that in audio and post production to make it seem like a thing. But then we see that Brock really was cheering in the background like a baboon. So as baboons often cheer, and so Schwartz like, "Oh, is that for us? Oh God." She's like, "I think so." She's like, "Oh my God, was that anticlimactic? Oh my God."
Raquel is so happy. I mean, this is the closest thing to pageantry she's ever going to get again. I mean, poor aged out pageant queen, finally getting some applause in a pool at a little floating table or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "That wasn't bad, right?" She's like, "We should go somewhere private." He goes, "Well, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to make out anymore. My armpit hair might unravel and then envelop you and absorb you into my armpits, kind of like the girl from The Ring. But Katie won't cut it. So what else can we do?" His armpit hair just comes out and unravels her, and then they go to a little private area and make out some more.
Yeah, and so while this is all happening, Katie and her crew are getting up from their table in the restaurant, and there's like this impending sense of dread. Is she going to see this? Is she going to hear it? Like, you just know she's going to find out. So now it's like, okay, how is she going to find out? So then Schwartz and Raquel are, they're making out behind the fence, and Raquel's like, "I like your vibe." He's like, "Yeah." So they kiss some more, and then Raquel's like, "His lips are like soft and sweet, delicate kisses, but also tastes like that, like what I always imagine moss tastes like in like a riverbed."
And he's like, "I won't make out with you again. That moment has passed." And she goes, "No, you can make out with me whenever you want." She tells us, "I feel happy. I feel giddy. I feel excited." And she's got the Schwartz, "Oh, shucks, I'm just an innocent person who's trying to be happy" thing. When we also learned that she's hooking up with Tom by now anyway. Yeah. This is just all a fucking ruse. Well, I mean, so it's really hard to not yell, "Fuck you, Raquel," during most of this episode. I found it a little difficult.
It's also funny to think that, like, had Sandoval never surfaced, there's probably a good chance that I would have been like, yeah, Raquel finally is getting to be her. She's getting to live her life right now after years of James. This is like, da-da-da-da-da. Raquel's doing her thing. But it is so, it's so fascinating watching this season, knowing everything that's happening off camera and how it really, inflects everything. So Schwartz like, "Oh, this feels illegal. This feels so illegal." She's like, "Yeah, you're like a kissing bandit. Yeah, and like Katie already hates me, so like might as well."
So this really explains a lot about Raquel and Raquel's way of moving about this season. To anybody who watches The Bachelor, and I'm sorry, Ben, I know you don't, but to anybody who watches, they will realize the term "the kissing bandit" because it was a nickname given to Nick Viall, who has his own podcast now. But Nick was known for being
approved,
the kissing.
By the way, you can go on there. You can go on there to air it all out there. I approve of the Nick Viall's podcast for you as well.
And the reason that's important to me is because she's acting like she's on the fucking Bachelor. She's like got Bachelor morals, where it's supposed to be a bunch of people trying to make out with the same guy and get picked. It's like a pick-me show for pick-me girls, or pick-me boys, depending on the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, what season you're watching. And so I think she sees it like, well, why shouldn't I be able to kiss him? You've already had your one-on-one, Katie. And so she's just going right, and it makes sense. And also, they also kind of picked the biggest pieces of shit guys from the season to end up being The Bachelor. So it figures the dirty, sweaty Tom in his Bob Balaban glasses is the new Bachelor. Lucky us.
I feel like poor Bob Balaban doesn't need to be dragged into this. We dragged him in early on, not realizing what we were dragging him into, and now
I literally hate Bob Balaban now. Like, I hate him. If I saw him at a Whole Foods, I'd try and trip him.
Be sweet to Bob Balaban. So
Bob Balabang.
Bob Balabad man. So
Bob Balabam bam.
Where's his podcast? So Schwartz is like,
okay, if we ever break up, you can go talk about it on Bob Balaban. That's what I give
Bob
you.
Balaban Power Hour. Hi, I'm Bob Balaban, and we're talking here with Ben Mandel, who recently had a breakup with his longtime podcast husband. So then Schwartz does. Here's where I get mad. So I got mad about the most random things, like the things that I should get really enraged about. I'm like, I'll be sort of like sniffy about, or snitty about. Snotty about. But this is where I get really mad, is when Schwartz goes, oh God, I'm never going to tell Katie. Don't tell her. And like, I hate that. I hate that when he says things like that, because it's like, you're on camera. Like, he knows. First of all, he knows it's going to be told. And then he knows it's going to be on camera, but it's like that coy little boy, like, I'm just a good kid. I don't want to, like, it's our little secret. I don't know what, for some reason, it just drives me nuts. It drives me nuts when he does that.
Because it's just manipulation, you know?
It's manipulation.
It's shitty. And he just did this because Katie was mean to him. So now he's going to be mean to Katie. So he's like, yeah, I'm not going to tell her. Don't tell her. She goes, everyone already knows. He goes, no one knows. And she goes, okay, I guess no one knows then. Hold on, I'm going to boogie board. So then Lala's room, so the people who were at dinner were Lala, Katie, Christina, James, and Allie. So they all go to Lala's room, and she's apparently got a huge room. And James is like, whoa, so convention in it. Oh, look at this. And she's like, is it really bigger than your all's room? I'm like, yeah.
It's like that's a room humble brag. Is it really that much bigger? Really? And it's like her room, she has like a dining room. Katie's like asleep with like a Mr. Coffee at her head. Her room is so small. Is it really?
Katie's literally wrapping herself in like a banana leaf to go to sleep. Okay, she's in like the busboy box.
The busboy box. So they all sit down, and Christina's like, they're just sitting there. So Scheana calls up Lala. They're all sitting there, and Lala's like, hey! And Scheana says, hey! Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It's like,
that's how Scheana starts every call. You know that's how Scheana starts every call in her life. Hi, can you hear me? Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, are we live? Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We're live? All right, we're going. We're good. We're good to roll. All right. Okay. And she's like, what's up? But first of all, then Lala's like, what's up? Like, very coldly, which I'm like, why are you so cold, Lala? You're the one who like ditched Scheana. I don't care. I actually don't think that Sheena's being a crazy bridezilla. I think she's being as needy as anyone throwing a big event, but not like above and beyond where she's like screaming at people. I think she's like, hey, I just had this big fun party, and like, you're one of my besties, and like, where were you? And Lala's like, hey, as if she's like mad at Scheana for having events on her wedding weekend. And so I was already like annoyed at Lala in this scene.
Well, but Lala plays both sides, and she's in front of Katie and Christina,
yes,
and so she's got to pretend to hate Scheana, even though she's at Sheena's wedding. I mean, she's so transparent. So she's like, yeah. And she goes, what happened tonight? She goes, I went to dinner, and then I came back to the rooms. And she's like, okay, well, we'll talk about that tomorrow. I just want to know where you were sitting at dinner, because, like, I know you were behind the hostess stand, but I'm not sure if, like, all the stack of menus that they were cleaning, I don't know if you could see Schwartz and Raquel make out, because everybody was saying it was happening, and I did not see it. Did you see it? Did you take pictures? Could you send me some pictures? I really want to know.
And, of course, it's on speakerphone, so everyone's hearing this. So James is like, what? Who saw that slut? And then Lala's like, who are you hearing this from? Who?
No, I was looking like at Clint, my friend, because I wanted to introduce you to Clint, and then I heard people cheer, and I was like, what happened? Is there more entertainment? I don't know if the crowd can take more after water drums and fire dancers. What's next? Stripper tacos? And then people said Raquel and Schwartz made out, and I was like, what?
I love that she was like, is there more entertainment? Like, she expecting elephants to come walking in, bouncing balls on their trunks. Oh my God, surprise entertainment at my already very amazing party. So, so Lala's like, this is dirty to me. You have to find out what really happened. Bullshit! It's bullshit! James losing his mind right in front of Allie, his girlfriend.
James is standing up. His eyes are bugging out of his head, and he's about to lose his goddamn mind. And Scheana's like, okay, I'll find out. I'll find out. I'll find out. Okay, I'll find out. Okay, I'll find out. Okay, I'll find out. And Lala's like, just stop repeating yourself and find out, please.
Christina's like, she said she heard everyone cheering, and then she said like what everyone was cheering at, and someone said, oh, Scwartz and Raquel just made out, something like that. And James is like, oh, so they finally made out and they're finally going to bump pee-pees tonight. Yay. Okay, well done, Schwartz. Well done. Congratulations. Enjoy bagging your new slutty girlfriend.
And Katie's like, I feel like someone has punched me in the gut and hit me in the face. People cheering them. I mean, not one of these people care about me. Name one of these people that you call.
I'm like, to be fair, it's a wedding that you are at. Well, it's like a wedding that you're like not at. Like it's like people that you're not friends with.
So Lola's like, we have to find out who was behind this. Who was behind it? It was Raquel and Schwartz. That's who's behind it, trying to piss Katie off. Who's mean to them? It's revenge. This whole season is revenge. It's one person doing something, and then someone taking revenge, and then the other people taking revenge on the person that was taking revenge. And then before you know it, you're a Real Housewives show. You know, nobody even remembers what started the fight.
And I would say that most of all, this is Schwartz's fault because
of course
he knew this was to rattle Katie. Like he has been like alternately shitting on Katie and then being like, oh, sorry. Then shits on her again. Oh, sorry. Shitting on her again. So like after she like wouldn't cut his armpit hair, or like when he came over last week and was trying to be all cutesy and she basically shooed him away, then he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna get under her skin this way instead. Yeah, and so that's what this is all about.
Yes. So James is freaking out, and Katie's been punched, and Lala's like, we've already done this. Okay, so James is like, if the whole party started cheering, then I would cheer too. I guess that's what happened because it caught on like a wildfire. It's like, oh God.
Well, you know what happened? Like someone brings out some polio string cheese and someone says, oh, good, polio string cheese. And then someone else goes, oh, awesome. And then someone else goes, that's amazing. And then before you know it, one person's cheering, then everyone's cheering, then I'm cheering too. I can't help it. I love cheering along. So then we go to Scheana Cam.
Detective Scheana. She's like behind maid carts, like rolling down the hallway. It's like, bang, 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 bang. It's like hiding under table tents. It's like 2 tacos for $6. And my face. Did anybody see them kiss? Did anybody get pictures of them kissing? Tell me. I need to know.
So she goes up to Brock. She goes, did you see it or didn't you see it? And he's like, how did you miss it? It's right there. So then she's, I guess, still on the phone because Lala's like, hold on. So, sorry. Scheana calls back. She says, hold on, everyone. She's calling. It's her. Okay. Hey. So did they hook up? Like, did they make out? Did she squirt all over the pool? What?
So Brock's like, yeah. And she goes, Brock, did you see it? Tell them your witness testimony, Brock. And he goes, yeah, of course, we all saw it. And Lala goes, well, why are people cheering for that? And he goes, because they want to see Schwartz happy. Which I was glad for a little truth there. That is the truth. He's been in a miserable fucking marriage. I mean, listen, love Katie or hate her. This has been a miserable marriage. I think everybody can agree. Anybody who's watched this can agree. And I would like to think that when Katie finally makes out with the doofus she's dating, that people will also cheer in public. But yeah, I think it's pretty normal for a group of friends to see their friend finally, making out with someone, especially someone who's like 10 years younger and he's all sweating and his glasses are all fogged. His Bob Bala bands are all fogged up and nasty. He's got eye boogers coming out of him. His armpit hair is like coming out of the bottom of his pants.
Yeah. So then Lala's like, Katie did nothing to that girl for her to do something like that. She's a disgusting swamp creature.
Katie sure did do something to that girl for her to do something like that. It was revenge for that fucking trip, you guys. I love how they just rewrite history. God, you guys could work for the American school system.
So Sheena's like, no. We're not gonna go there. Okay, like I'm just like bummed. Like you miss out on some special moments. Like I was able to like bang on a drum that had water on it, but there's also like an orange light under it. So it looked sort of like I was like banging lava, which was like kind of cool and kind of scary and kind of like fun and erotic too. But like anyway, like you missed all that, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. Bye!
Yeah, you missed really special moments, and so did I, because Tom made out with Raquel. Did you hear her? It's like click. So Katie's like, and there we have it. Dun. It's like sad music. Okay, are these 40-year-olds? Because this was a makeout session. I know it's not great. I think Tom Schwartz and Raquel are both shitheads just trying to get public revenge. I don't think it was a good look for either one of them.
No.
But they're making it sound like Raquel's walking around pregnant, with a little baby with balabands on.
Yeah. It's they are making it sound like they were caught like basically boning like in the bushes or something like that. But like ultimately, if the deal was, like, hey, don't make out with anyone in the friend group, that is the deal that they had. Like whether or not you agree with that deal, whether or not that deal is rational, whether you think it's like a little bit too much, a little ridiculous or whatever, like that was the deal that they came to. And Tom basically said, you know what? Once again, I don't really care too much about Katie. It's like, even though I said, yes, I will not make out with Raquel, I don't care that much. It's more important for me to get under her skin than to respect her wishes. And so that's what he did. And she's just like, well, fuck that. And, and I get it.
I understand.
I get it.
I'm just like, it's just funny watching a bunch of adults like, they kiss.
I know, they're
kiss at
they're
a
very
wedding.
scandalized.
People got drunk and kissed. Oh my God.
That's, by the way, that hotel room is essentially like a newsroom. Like if you want to talk about that, that's like, when there is this, like Walter Cronkite is on the news or something in like the 60s and you see everyone like on their typewriters in the back being like, this just in, because they just are in that hotel room that basically the entire episode. Just
Lala's the one like taking out the ticker tape, like, all right, what do we got, boys? What do we got? And then Katie is the one that they always have deliver the worst news. It's like, and then the bomb just went off in the South Seas. She's got like her depression eyebrows like scrunching up. And then Christina's just the one that has the very serious but stern and she can take anything face. Like, we are currently at war.
I think Christina
Please make sure you have canned foods.
I think Christina delivers stern economic news about like things like the Dow went down 400 points today. So it's like, it's serious, but you don't care that much necessarily. But then Katie has to deliver today 5 different cruise liners across the world sank. And you're like, oh my God, wow.
But they're like, but Katie, we really need to, guys, listen, the whole team, okay? That's not just about Katie, it's the whole team. We're going to try and bring some positivity because people are really bummed out by the depression on the news. So, Katie, we're going to have you talk about electric school buses today and how they're saving the environment. And Katie would be like, well, there are school buses that no longer have gas. What did gas do? It broke a contract with the earth. They're like, Katie, can we get a rewrite on that? You're really...
All right, let's just put Katie on sports. Today, an entire football team quit their jobs. That's right. The NFL has actually lost an entire team. Katie, you ruined a team in football. So
today in baseball, a little girl caught a fly ball. A ball that had promised to stay in that stadium and then tried to fly away like it was no big deal. That little girl ruined the relationship between a ball and its stadium. And fuck that little girl. I want to start that little girl on fucking fire. Katie, whoa, Katie. Let's leave home at home, okay?
Today in sports, New York Yankee Aaron Judge hit a 3-run homer today, winning the game in the bottom of the 9th. Unfortunately, his ball hit the last remaining green-eyed pigeon of Staten Island, and that species has gone extinct. So a terrible day for birds. A pretty nice day for Aaron Judge.
So Katie's like, well, I'm going to bed. And she tells us, I feel so much hate inside of me. I hate them both. But I hate Tom more. I mean, Raquel, like, fuck her. But Tom owes me more than this.
Well,
you're divorced. Your house is sold. Go home.
I mean, look, you know what? She gets there by the end of the episode. I think she gets there by the end of the episode where she realizes, fuck Tom. She doesn't need to live for the things that Tom owes her, you know? So that's what does make me happy.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
So then James is basically like, well, he has the hots for her, but who doesn't? Who doesn't have the hots for her? Am I right? I had her first. So Lala's like,
stuck it in her first. I want everyone to know. I'd like history to record that one. Who had it first? Me did. Me did.
So Lala's like, I'm telling you right now, your ex-fiance is a fucking whore. Okay? Use a hoe. Use a cheap, broke-down hoe. I know that. I can say that. I had dinner with 50 Cent once. Okay? Use a hoe. Use a hoe.
So awkward. And James is like, "Bah." Well, honestly, he wants to fuck the shit out of Raquel. He wants to put up the pussy and up the ass and in the mouth, whatever. Just do it. Just do it. Oh, I did it first. And Allie's just sitting there like, oh my God, are there any other shows I could audition for? This is so embarrassing.
She's like, maybe I should do like, I don't know, Great British Bake Off or something. Can I start dating Paul Hollywood? So she's like, okay, well, thanks for obsessing over your ex-fiance yet again. I'm going to go to sleep. So she's like, you guys are disgusting. She's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll go to bed because I'm in trouble now. Apparently that slut got me in trouble with this slut. Stupid.
So then Scheana in Brock's room, Sheena's like, oh my God, and look, Raquel, look at this party light. Like, it looks like stars, and that's what Joey had, so I brought it for you, because you're like stars.
Well, I think I'm just going to go to my room. So now we are in
Sandoval, Ariana, and Tom. So Sandoval, Ariana is sitting with Raquel, and Tom's like, Raquel, and Ariana's like, stop, Tom. Why do you keep saying Raquel over and over again?
Raquel.
He's like, hush, she made out with Schwartz. And Ariana's like, you what? And then Tom and Raquel smile really big at each other. And Ariana's like, I'm going to need details on that because we're going to have to make a sandwich based on this. And it's going to be pretty fucking sloppy. So,
yeah. Raquel's like, it was just like a moment in the woods. And like, but a lot of people cheered. So like, I don't know. Like, maybe we're like America's sweethearts now. I don't know. And Ariana's like, people cheered? So Ariana tells us, just when I thought it was safe, Katie's on her side of the resort. James and Raquel seem like they're cool. And now this happened, and I feel like we're right back where we started. It's like not even 10 feet underground. I was like, poor Ariana, if she only knows where it's about to go.
I know, 10 feet underground. Just wait. Tomorrow it's going to be 3 inches into aged out pageant girl. Fucking Raquel. Because isn't this supposedly when they hooked up? The rumors this week are that Tom and... because you remember when Schwartz said on Watch What Happens Live, yeah, it was like the end of August, and this wedding is at the end of August. So the rumors, last week we were like, obviously, it makes sense. It's a wedding at some point, right? So the rumors this week are that they hooked up the day of the wedding, and Scheana was saying, oh yeah, Raquel didn't show up to get her makeup done, and we were all in there for like 3 hours. Everybody was like basically secluded with each other for 3 hours, but Raquel went missing. So they're thinking that Raquel and Tom actually hooked up for the first time on her wedding day. That's the rumors. Listen, you think we're drama queens? You should go listen to Sheena's podcast because the clips on there are really, it's like, oh my God, because this didn't even hit me, but I was like, oh my God, we were getting makeup done. I was like, where's Raquel? And now she didn't even show up. And I probably did it on that.
Well, that would be, that is just very wild and depraved if that's the truth. So, but anyways, Schwartz is like wasted or coked up or something. He is on something. And, like, oh, yeah. And because they're at like the after party in Sheena's suite. So, and Schwartz is passed out on his bed, like with the galaxy light blaring on his feet, Yeah. So Sandoval's like, ooh, like, hey, Raquel, like, here's Schwartz's room if you want to make out with him. And Ariana's like, Tom, get the fuck out of here. You're the worst. Get the fuck out of here.
And so Raquel's like, can we just have some fun now? It's like, I think that you're like the only person at this wedding, or you're definitely the person at this wedding having the most fun.
The most.
Okay.
She's-
I don't want to hear you
yeah.
complaining right now, ma'am.
So then it's like, and everyone's like frolicking in the pool. Everyone's like screaming and laughing and joking. It's like, woo! It's like hard cut to Katie and Christina lying on their bed, staring at the ceiling in silence.
And Lala comes in. It cuts back to the two NPR hosts, and Lala comes in. And Katie's like, get into bed. She goes, what's going through your heads? And Katie's like, I just texted him. I hate you. The anger and hatred I feel for you is like nothing you've ever known. Like, I'm never going to speak to you or talk to you ever again. And Lala's like, even Brock's? Like, we cheered because we want to see Schwartz happy? Like, what is that supposed to mean?
Making out with Raquel is happy. I'm like, I'm not a Schwartz fan, and I think what he did was totally dick behavior, but I can see how making out with someone would make someone happy. So,
Christina's like, you guys, there's like a million other girls out there. And Katie's like, yeah, we just spent 12 years and we're trying to unpack this shit. Like, if you need a date, go out and do it, but not in front. Like, this is just mean.
Christina
Which is the point. You're right that it was.
It is mean.
That was Katie who said that. And you're right that it was absolutely mean. That was the point. He was trying to be mean to you.
And it's like, that doesn't make it right, but just like yes, he's a dick. You don't need to have an amicable relationship with this piece of pond scum, okay? You don't. He's a dick. He's going to keep being a dick to you, okay? Be mean to him. Be angry. Be rageful towards him because he deserves it. So, by the way, Christina is cracking me up this episode because it's not been that subtle, but like last week, she kind of like went and talked to Scheana to be like, by the way, like, you never did anything to me, so like we're cool, which I felt like was her way of saying, can I come to some of these events? And then today, when they're sitting there in bed, Katie's upset and Christina has to be on friend duty where she has to be upset also and also lie in bed and also look at the ceiling at the same time. And you just knew in her head, she said this would be a vacation in Mexico and we'd go out to bars. We'd have fun. Just like, I'm stuck here at 10:30 p.m. staring at the ceiling with Katie having to be sad also.
Yeah, part of me wonders if she thinks she chose the wrong horse, because she's definitely, I don't know if she expects to go to actual events at the wedding, but she's definitely seems to be putting out vibes like, but if I do come back, I don't need to be stuck only with Katie the whole time. Like, I think this time it's like, I need somebody on my side. You have to come back to the show and help me, So I think she's like, if I come back, I will not necessarily be up Katie's ass the entire time. Scheana, thanks for this little talk, okay?
Or maybe Christina was thinking, oh, well, I mean, like, I've been around this show for many years. I know what's going to happen. Katie's going to go down there, and then she and Scheana will reconcile, and then we're going to go to the wedding. Like, I know how this plays out. And she's like, shit. It's the night before the wedding, and we still haven't patched this up. We're missing out on all the events. This sucks.
Yeah. So they're they're just like sitting there in the morning, like bored. And then we see everybody in the morning doing their breakfasty things. And back to Katie, and she's like, I want breakfast. And then Christina goes, we'll get room service and we'll chill. And then we'll chill some more by the pool.
And like, I don't know, like, maybe we could go to Scheana's wedding. I don't know, just thinking out loud. No, just the pool, just the preferred pool. Yeah.
By the way, do you think they have rice in the gift shop? Just curious. So,
hey, can you throw me that Mr. Coffee? Sorry, I just want to like, in case like I wind up catching a bouquet tonight, I just want to be ready. Sorry, just like thinking out loud. Sorry, continue.
So Scheana and Raquel, and I guess who turns out to be her sister, not Raquel's sister, but Scheana's sister, Courtney, go to like a cave spa type thing. And she's like, oh my God, we're the only three that made it. Ariana's coming. She's just fashionably late per usual. Hi, my name is Scheana. We have a bridal party coming in to do spas. Did anybody here see Raquel make out with Tom? Anybody? Did you guys get any pictures? Let me know.
Raquel, look at all these rocks. Have you made out with any of these rocks? Okay, just want to check because you seem to be making out with everything. So they are there in this like rocky spa. and they're all gathered, and Ariana has joined, and Scheana's like, I can't believe like last night wasn't the wedding. Like that's why I was like so disappointed that Lala didn't come last night, because like that was literally like the biggest event of the entire trip, and like you didn't even like come by to say like hi. Like what the hell is up with that?
And she's like, yeah, before I knew that Lala was going to be splitting her time between me and Katie on my wedding trip, she told me she was planning on coming to the wedding, to every big wedding event, and that was like the biggest ones. And she's like, but now that I know one by one, she's not going to be coming to things. Honestly, at this point, I'm wondering if she's even going to show up at the wedding.
I actually do think it's shitty of Lala. I know that Scheana has like a lot of events, but like don't do interviews where you say like that's my girl. Like I go to bat for her. I'll do anything for that girl, and then don't sit her down with Brock and be like, I'll go to any event. I won't go to the really intimate ones, but I'll go to every other event, and they don't go to the events. Like I think that's actually really shitty.
Yeah, of course. It's really fucking rude, but that's how Lala is. She straddles the fence. Listen, Katie and the Mean Girls, when Lala came on, they were so mean to Lala. They were slut shaming. They were horrible to her. And then when she finally got with the girls, she'll turn against Scheana, just like they want, just like she turned against James, because that's what they wanted. She does what they want ultimately, you know? And she's still gonna do it.
Yeah. So Sheena's like, well, I called Lala to say I was disappointed, and then asked about like Scwartz and Raquel, and Raquel's like, oh no. And Sheena's sister is like, Schwartz is like not who I imagined to be your wedding date. And Raquel's like, oh well, I was thinking, by the way, what if I walk down the aisle with Schwartz instead of Joey? Everyone's like,
God, oh Raquel, what the fuck, man? God.
It's terrible.
This girl is dead inside, okay? At this point, I'm just thinking, we're always trying to figure out what's going on in Raquel's head. But at this point, she's just dead inside. I mean, I have no idea what she could possibly be thinking.
Well, the only thing I could imagine is that a producer said, Raquel, why don't you see if you can walk down the aisle with Schwartz? She's like, okay.
I don't like that every time somebody gets in trouble, we all turn around and blame the producers for doing it. That's bullshit. It's like a lot of people online, like, you guys, Katie had to go to this thing because the producers made her. No, she had to go to Mexico because she has to get paid. To get paid, she has to be on the show. She doesn't have to show up at every event sitting right outside being rude about everything. You know what I mean? Like, let's stop blaming the producers for everything these Vanderpump Rules idiots get themselves into. I'm not yelling at you, man. I'm just like
no. Well, I wasn't blaming the producer. I was saying that's the only way I can imagine the idea came into her head.
That's her fault. Fucking Raquel. What the fuck, man? Light a little fire inside of yourself, because I don't even like Katie, and you're making me feel bad for Katie. Like, this is just shitty. I think I've always gotten by with my own take on Katie to myself, because she's always been such a miserable bully to other people. But now you're kind of becoming that miserable bully. Don't let the show do that to you. I mean, it's already made you a horrible Judas to your friend and a cheater.
Judas? Wow.
But don't become a horrible bully like the Sir girls. Don't do it.
Yeah, but Ronnie,
save yourself.
Ronnie, that's like someone putting a soup on the Lazy Susan of awfulness and spinning it over across the table, and you putting your hand and saying, no, stop this Lazy Susan. The soup has to get across the Lazy Susan, okay?
The Lazy Susan of awfulness people, yeah, it has
will
to keep
never stop.
Circles.
It will never, ever, ever stop, okay?
By the way, you should lock that window behind you, because I'm really worried that someone's going to break it. It's unlocked.
This one right here?
I see, yeah. It's like unlocked. The handle's up. The handle's up. Like the little swivel handle.
Oh,
I see. It's different than the little swivel handle.
Wait, this one?
Okay. No. You were on the right window. I was just thinking that there was a different lock, and I was really worried for you because I don't want you to miss my wedding.
Hey, Lala. Did you see Ben's, window? Yeah. I think it was, unlocked, but I didn't see it for sure. Do you know anyone who saw the window? Okay. I'm going to find out.
Benny Hanna?
No, it's locked. This swivel is just
I see.
To make it look.
You pull up the swivel to
it's not
turn
it.
That.
Is this one? It's just so that we can you pull up to turn it, but it's just
so I'm saying
now less flash, I should say.
Okay, sorry everybody. Got everybody worried.
This is like a Vanderpump Rules cast member. It almost looks as interesting as it actually is. So, or actually the other way around. God damn it! I ruined my windows.
Let's just quit. Let's just fucking quit. Just call
So
Howie.
Scheana-
Howie can take over.
I know. We're like, God, Howie Mandel's podcast. I'm like, hey, let me do a botched joke about the thing that opens my window. So,
So
Scheana,
anyway, Raquel's being a fucking bully, and I don't like it. It's not a good look on you. Cut the crap. So then Ariana's like, stop. Oh, no, Ariana's like, stop, you guys. And Scheana's like, I mean, I'm okay with that. So I think that's a great idea. Is anyone else okay with that?
yeah. So, of course,
Don't make
she's
me
okay
stand
with
up
that.
for Katie. You guys are taking the wrong road. You're on the wrong road. It's making me
Yeah.
uncomfortable to be here.
Yeah, and so I think Ariana has like a really a great way to assess the situation. She goes, I'm starting to think that Raquel might actually have feelings for Schwartz, and it feels like she's living in some sort of rom-com, and I think she's the only one in it.
It's like While You Were Sleeping, where Sandra Bullock is like the only person involved in that relationship.
I know, except that Raquel is Peter Gallagher in that situation. Very passive.
So Ariana, so Raquel's like, okay, we'll talk about it later. And Courtney's like, hopefully Katie has another dinner reservation tomorrow night with a good view of everything.
I love some sister shade.
And everyone's
So-
laughing but Ariana. Ariana's like, this is really uncomfortable.
This is
but
bad. This isn't going to play well.
And I
So-
really like, as a general thing through this episode, I really like that Ariana wasn't like giggling and getting really shitty with everybody else, because
No.
we know what's about to come for Ariana, you know?
Exactly. So, but she never does. That's the thing. That's why also we all love Ariana, because she sort of like knows what's up, and she always seems to have the right take on everything, you know? So Allie, we then go over to the pool side, and James and Allie are sitting in chairs, and they're like holding a flower-ish thing, and Allie gives it to James. She goes, I got that for you. He goes, you did not, thank you. I don't think a girl's ever given me a flower before. Look at this beautiful flower. Look, it's like bulbous, but smells nice. It's like every slut I've ever slept with. Am I right? Everyone, high five, fat shaming.
So Schwartz comes over and he's like, hey guys, hey, can I hang out with you guys? And he's like, oh, you got the Pedialyte there, do you? And he goes, yeah, you know, would you guys hang out with me? And Allie goes, why? And he's like, because everyone's asleep and hungover. So guys, what about last night? How'd last night go for everyone? And James is so pissed. He's like, are you kidding me? You made out with Raquel last night.
What? No, I did not. You didn't? And he was like, okay, I did. Can I explain? Like, me and Raquel, we don't have a thing. And James is like, but if you say that you guys don't have a thing one more time, it's going to be kind of offensive. And he's like, well, Katie forbid me to make out with her, which is strange. Like, I'm an old man. Like, this is middle school shit. I felt like I was sticking it to the man last night. Like, you don't get to wrap this in some sort of self-entitlement bow, or personal empowerment bow, you know?
Yeah, like I was rebelling. I finally got. And Tom Sandoval actually said that on his interview with Howie. He's like, well, that moment in Mexico, I was just like, I didn't even mind that Schwartz made out with Raquel, but he didn't know about us. But like, I didn't mind that they made out because like it was like a moment where Katie had made this bully thing against Raquel the whole season and made it a storyline, and it was like, yes, you're finally rebelling. You know?
Well, the other thing with Schwartz, though, is that, like, if you're just going to do, like, the dick thing, if you're going to do this, if it's going to be your rebellion, if it is going to be your quote-unquote sticking it to the man, a.k.a. Katie, like, then, like, own it, baby. Like, he does these things, and then he's like, oh, did I do that? You know? And it's like, just be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm doing it. This is my decision. But he doesn't do that either.
Yeah. And so James is like, that's your excuse. And he goes, I don't know. I mean, I've been a sad sack of a human being for 6 months. James is like, oh, so you made out with Raquel to make you happy then? Is that what you're saying? He goes, yeah, temporarily. Oh, but Katie's just livid with me. I was like, well, there's your answer. The way his face lights up when he says, Katie's just livid with me.
Exactly.
That's what made him happy, you know? So he's like, you know, the Princess and the Toad? Well, since the divorce, I've never felt less desirable or sexy. It is one of your top least desirable or sexy moments. I have to agree with you on that one.
But then comes along Raquel, and like she's got pageant history. She's a total princess, and I thought the kiss would snap me out of it. So he's basically saying that he's the toad in this situation.
Yeah, you know what? Spreading warts doesn't make you the toad. Okay, you never turned into the Prince Balaban.
I was going to say I think that he is the toad, but I'm not sure there was a transformation out of it either. So the producer's like, so did it snap you out of it? He goes, yeah, I think it did. I mean, call me Prince Charming. So James is like, oh, listen, I'm not picking sides, but Katie's a hard nut, and she means business, and you're probably dead to it right now. And Schwartz is like, but is it warranted? Be objective. Schwartz, why are you asking this guy? You made out with this guy's ex-fiance, and even though it's clear that James is not over Raquel, James was dumped by Raquel. There's clearly emotions there, and you're basically going up to James to be like, what's the big deal? I made out with Raquel. It's like, there's actually so many levels of self-centered / thoughtlessness going on with Schwartz right now.
Yeah. But I think everyone looks at it on the show. It's like, well, James cheated a million times. Everybody fucking knows it. And at least the one time that we know about that Lala's admitted to on TV. And so it's like, who cares?
Well,
you didn't respect her or deserve her. So I'll make out with her in front of you.
Yeah. James has skated by every generic person who makes it to the final 3 of Survivor. There's always one person who, when you look back at the season, you're like, how did they get there? It's because there was always someone who was a bigger threat, who was worse, or someone who needed to be taken care of first. And so James always gets by because there always is at least one guy on the show who's doing something worse than him. So even though James is always doing terrible things and has such terrible outlooks on women and life and people and body shapes, there's always someone who's managed to sort of do something worse, and he just gets by.
Yeah. So Tom puts his hand on James's knee, and he's like, come on, man. And James is like, get your hand off my knee. Don't put your hand on my fucking leg, Schwartz. And he goes, don't be like that. He goes, I didn't do anything. I asked you to take your hand off my leg. You're the one who stuck your tongue down my ex-fiance's throat last night at the white party. Right?
It was a platonic kiss. You're a gaslighter. It was a platonic kiss. So James is like, Schwartz is a fucking pussy. I hope everyone sees the calculatedness that he's done and how he's maneuvering around. It's so sneaky. So Schwartz is like, Hallie, back me up. I mean, talk about
maneuvering. Oh my God. So
guy. Shameless.
Worse. And James is like, yeah, I've seen the way he looks at Raquel forever. And he tells him, and I'm creating a boundary between you and Allie. That does not need to be your friend. All right, you don't need to be friends. He goes, what do you mean? And Allie goes, don't create a boundary. And he goes, well, what you're not going to do is lose it like I always do. But what we're also not going to do is grab my leg and ask my current girlfriend to back you up. She just gave me a flower.
A tulip. So Schwartz is like, I was being facetious, relax. He gets real nasty. The real Schwartz comes out finally. He's like, I was being facetious, relax, bro. And so James is like, well, fuck facetious and your big words. What does that even mean? What's facetious mean? Is that a new cream? Should I be using facetious on my face?
And he goes, you're facetious.
Whatever that means.
He just kind of looks. So Schwartz laughs, and so does James. They just both kind of laugh it off. But now back in Beverly Hills with Villa Rosa, darling. Rocio swinging from a tree, picking roses, throwing petals in the air, darling, while dolphins jump over the little mini bridge, and Hanky and Panky walk around, and Diamonds and Rose chill together as a couple, while Sloopy Doopy and her stupid Charo top ponytail follows Lisa around the garden.
Oh, look, and there's Ken feeding Cedric in his cage. A beautiful day in Villa Rosa. So then Greg comes over. Greg, the restaurant guy. He comes over. He brings a bottle of rosé, which is bold because on the one hand, it's smart, bringing something pink for Lisa. She loves rosé, but also Lisa has her own rosé, so can you really
I know. I like that. He's like, this is for you, a rival rosé. Oh, touche, little man. Come in.
whispering angels. I don't know what that is. Strange. Okay, give this to the little horses. Goodbye. So Lisa's like, this whole place is full of wild animals, including me. Get it? Ah!
I was a little worried to reach out to Greg because who knows how that would go. Shut up, Vanderpump. Keep to your own successful million, trillion, billion, kabillion goat cheese sold restaurants. Goat cheese balls sold. But he was actually pretty amenable to meeting. Would you like red, white, rosé, or water? It's a test.
Or perhaps you would like a tall glass of magic.
Like,
I love
I'll
Lisa.
have what you're having. She's like, oh, really? A bunny pulled out of a hat? Sure.
I'll tell you what I'm having. The Four of Hearts. Is this your card? He's like, actually, yes. And I didn't even realize I had selected one. I just know that's my card. So then I love Lisa saying, oh, I hope I'm not overstepping whatsoever. Who I am. I'm just a sweet, meddling, very wealthy woman on a TV show that you're currently airing on or being on or whatever you are, stupid person. So basically she's like, so I want to know what's going on with Tom Tom. And they're like, are you really going to open on the 31st? Are you going to? And he goes like, no. What do you mean?
What are you talking about, Greg? I stabbed in the heart and you're to blame. You give love a bad name. And he's like, well, listen, there's no bar Bible, there's no procedures, there's no training, there's none of that. I mean, my role was to teach
But enough
them.
about Sir. Talk about your restaurant.
Listen, there's a smoking alley and tourists still take pictures of it. Oh, I'm sorry, we're talking about Schwartz and Sandy. All right, then.
Go on.
Well, I'm supposed to mentor them and teach them, explain how the business works, but they haven't listened to a single thing I've told them. She goes, oh, I get that, darling, but they don't listen. They're Tom and Tom. The only thing I can say to you is that they do bring something unique. And, listen, it's youth-ish and hair-ish, mustache-ish, which, we're working on. But basically, lots of girls show up and buy pink drink and frozen goat cheese. So just that's all you can expect, really, darling. All right, isn't it? And he's like, well, I mean, I guess they're fun. She goes, yes, you get it. That's what they bring. Our meeting here is done.
Yeah, poor Greg looking for work ethic from someone who worked at Sir. So Lisa's like, why Ken and I wanted Tom and Tom as partners is we thought they'd bring their craziness, their excitement, their energy, their storylines to our show while it was flagging in seasons 6 through 9. Things like that.
And looking at Greg, I don't think he has very much fun or energy or storylines, frankly. Well, Greg, I will personally kick their fucking skinny asses, well, one skinny and one skinny-ish, until we get it done. As long as you promise me if I get that done, you'll open on the 31st and buy Schwartz some new glasses. Because really, those are awful, aren't they? I mean,
And if you don't open on the 31st... then I shall claim your firstborn daughter! Ha! Magician out! Poof! Greg just wakes up in his apartment. How did that happen?
How did I get here?
What happened?
Joe Line
What is this
or
bottle
Joe
of
Lane
rosé?
or whatever her name is like eating a cold lobster dog in bed. She's like, I don't care when you open, just get me more of these.
I was wondering where you were. There was a flash of light, then suddenly you came back.
So Schwartz, now it's morning again, and Schwartz sneaks into Sandoval's room with a pina colada with jalapeno. I never had that before of you. It's so good.
So Schwartz is like, hey, they're waiting on us. The wedding started 5 minutes ago. Just kidding. Oh, wow. Scheana's pissed. Okay. So they were sort of waking up, what happened last night? What's going on? And then we go over to Scheana's room, and Lala comes over. And Scheana's like, oh my God, Lala, I wore that, almost that exact same thing, but in white today. That's crazy, but it's also kind of offensive. Why would you be wearing the same thing that I'd be wearing? So I kind of going to ask you to please leave the wedding. Sorry, bye.
And Sheena's like, so this is our room, that's our pool, blah, blah, blah. And Lala's like, well, tonight you need a lot of rest, bitch. And she's like, well, we have dinner at 5:30. You're going to come to that, right? Are you going to come to that? She goes, no, I'm not going to come to that because I'm going off properties for dinners because I can't. She goes, what happened last night? I thought you were going to dinner with them and then coming to my thing, and then you didn't come to my thing.
By the way, isn't it tonight like the rehearsal dinner? And Lala's going to skip that? For crying out loud. So Lala's like, yeah, my life is like really intense right now. Like, do you know how hard it is to go on vacation in Mexico when you have nothing back at home to report to? It is difficult right now. So I want to surround myself with women wanting to rally around and build each other up in the form of tearing someone else down. Okay? So Raquel reminds me of girls who would go and be with Randall, and the dirtiness of it is disgusting to me.
Oh my God, look in the mirror. All she's missing is a Range Rover. For fuck's sake. What kind of thing is that for Lala to say? She reminds me one of the girls who would be with Randall. Randall showed up and offered you a Range Rover and an audition, and you were with him ever since. Can we please get off the high horse, Princess Di? My God.
I know.
So Sheena's like, I don't think so. And Lala's like, 100%. And no one can convince me otherwise. And she says, there's a certain caliber of chicks who don't think of anybody but their insecure selves. I'm like, really? Because you're the one missing one of your best friend's rehearsal dinners because you're going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah,
are you talking
it's called
about?
being a cast member on Vanderpump Rules. I think that's actually the requirement. So Lala's like, it takes me back to a place of feeling so disrespected. I feel for her so much right now. It's like, okay, this is just such bullshit. Like, it's actually hilarious. So, and Lala says, Raquel has made Katie feel the way some of these bitches made me feel. And I'm triggered because she fucked with someone I love. So
yeah, but it's not Katie's vacation, it's my wedding. And Raquel's like, yeah, well, that's where you get this twisted. Because everyone else outside of this has things going on. Your wedding is the most important thing to you. It's not the most important thing to everyone here. Okay, SheShoo?
I'm sorry.
What fucking
That's
kind of
rude.
thing is that to say to a bride?
It's literally the day before her wedding, and you're there invited, probably with a discounted rate, I'd like to add, in a nice big ass room. We saw that, and that's what you're gonna say to the bride. It's so rude.
Yeah.
But it's also Lala.
Especially when you're leaving to like hang out with someone who was like, I don't even want to go to your wedding, and showed up anyway just to be a B. Like, that's terrible. It's
like, I don't want to go to your wedding, fine, but then keeps doing things and sort of like peeling people away from the wedding. You know, like, I just think that there's just like a rudeness. Rude. I'm sorry. I can't believe people be rude. Anyway, let's talk about more sluts. So Sheena's like, she's like, well, I think I've been like a pretty chill bride, and like, I don't think it's like too much to ask for Lala to spend the next 3 days making it about me. I'm like, well, Sheena, don't. Now, see, I was just
a lot of days.
It's a lot of days, and you're like, make it about me. So now I'm trying to defend you, Sheena. I'm trying to.
And Lala tells us we all have a lot going on. Yes, it's your wedding, and we'll all be there tomorrow to celebrate that. I mean, imagine your ex. Oh, no, she's saying this to Sheena, not to us. She goes, imagine your ex breaking up. Oh, no, imagine your ex leaving and showing up, and Sheena goes, I have experienced that. She goes, yeah, and somebody else hooking your ex up with someone in the friend group. I was like, oh, okay. So this is all Sheena's fault still. So everyone said this is basically, I mean, which I guess we all knew, but Lala coming in and being like, I'm not coming to your rehearsal dinner, and it's your fault because you told Schwartz to make out with Raquel. Fucking 13 years old. My God. You're on a TV show about people hooking up and fucking. I don't think it's so crazy that the cast is like, wow, there's a single man in the group and there's a single girl in the group looking for somebody. You guys should go to casting together.
But also Sheena had this moment with Schwartz way before they went to Mexico, and Lala still was like, I'm going to go. I'll be at everything. So now she's conveniently using it against Sheena, but also like that still doesn't explain why she didn't go to the dinner the night before. I don't know. I just feel like she's going out of her way to make Sheena feel bad about the situation. And, Sheena is for sure being like, make it all about me, make it about me. As many times as Scheana says, I'm like not a bridezilla, and I don't think she's a bridezilla, but she's also not a chill bride necessarily. But I think I just think that Lala's not being very gracious. She's being like, as a guest at a wedding,
It's surprising.
If that makes
super
sense.
Surprising. Yeah. So Sheena's like, well, we're going to have to agree to disagree on that. She goes, yeah, that was gross. So bye. Love you.
Love you. They both say love you and bye. So at least their friendship seems to be intact. So then now Lisa's calling the Toms because they're still in that bedroom. I can just tell what that bedroom smells like, and I don't like it. So Lisa's like, listen, I don't want to worry you, okay? But Tom burned down. Just kidding! But I want to tell you that Greg was at my house, and I did sit down with him, and there's just no way that your place can open, and this isn't me, it's him. It's him saying, he said, the guys haven't been dedicated. They haven't done much. They haven't provided a drink menu. They haven't shown up. They haven't actually shown any awareness of what it's like to actually be a working human in a business. Just things like that.
Now, I just want you to know that I did put him in a chest and cut him in half. And for a moment, Ken, the Swans, everybody thought he was dead for sure. Where's the other half? But then it turned out he was put back together again. And that's what we call magic! Now come back and get your restaurant open, boys! And Sandoval's like, one of the things I was really looking forward to when opening Schwartz and Sandy's was being able to make our own decisions without being under Lisa Vanderpump. Then go to fucking work, dude. Make your drink list. Get your shit entered into the point of sale system. Do something. All you're doing is going around cheating on your girlfriend and singing terribly in a fucking cover band. You piece of shit. Go to work.
You can still email in a menu. Like, you can still do work from Mexico, too. Like, there are things you can be doing. So Lisa's like, well, when did you put the drink menu in then? And Schwartz is like, that was like 3 days ago. Well, I think it was 3 days ago that I gave him that cocktail napkin with the things like yellow drink, orange drink, Pepsi drink, So I think
Gummy
it's all
shark.
done.
I remember writing down Gummy Shark, so... and Sandoval's like, but Greg going to Lisa and talking about us defeats the purpose. So she's like, well, I've got to go. Have fun. Send Scheana my love. Has it been okay over there? And they're like, what does mean? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's great. Like, Lisa's great. Like, dude, anyways, I'm not a dude, okay?
Actually,
No.
Sounds like the name of my perfect new restaurant. Unique Halal by Lisa Vanderpump.
We're exploring different foods. Question, is Patagonian toothfish halal? Also known as sea bass. So, anyway, Schwartz is like, yeah, no, dude is gender neutral, Lisa. It's totally okay. So then we go to James jumping on his bed and riding it like a surfboard and then checking out his body in the mirror. So he's happy.
James acts like somebody in a book who was like really fat for a long time. I did read this, but I don't remember the name of the book, but it was so good. It was this lady, and she was really, really big for a long time, and she was an actor, and she could never get ahead, and then she saved up all her money, and she was also dumped by a guy, of course, and then she found this doctor, and he totally took all of the weight off and made her beautiful, like stunningly beautiful, and then she became a star of a TV show like Charlie's Angels type of show. I love chick lit, okay? Love it. I know that shocks everybody. Anyway, that's how James acts. Like, he has just come out and seen his body for the first time. He's like, look at me, I'm gorgeous. I'm gorgeous.
Yeah. Like the surfing on the bed was very funny because it's like the first time he's been in a hotel. He's like, look at this, they've got beds here too. Amazing. So now that everyone's gathering for the rehearsal dinner, and then Schwartz goes up to Raquel and does like a sheepish wave, and she waves back, and then he does like a high five to her. And they sort of like slow it down to be like, high five. And Sheena's like, okay, so like everywhere, like we're going to like sit here, honey. And like, I'm going to go like help everyone else get situated. And we're like, sit around the hibachi, everyone. Come on to the hibachi, guys. So they all go in.
And of course, Schwartz sits next to Raquel. And they're like, oh my God, James and Allie are coming. Do you guys want to swap? And so Schwartz is like, yeah, I'll sit there. So there's a buffer. You know, there's a buffer between Raquel and James. So James and Allie come, and James is all pissed to start, you know. And so they sit at this Benihana table, and there's a little chicken formed out of rice there, and Raquel's like, "Oh my god, it's like Lala. She's too chicken to come to dinner." Takes a picture of it.
So then cut to Katie, Christina, and Lala sitting in like the lobby bar, just like not very far from the restaurant, just sitting there drinking, and they're talking about how Katie's birthday is coming up, and Lala's like, "Oh, that's what we should be celebrating. It was a weird day, but getting off the property is going to be like a money move. Getting off this property, it'll be a total money move." I'm like, "Yeah, it's what you guys should have been doing this entire time."
But it's
Go
also
have fun
another
in Cancun.
case. It's also another case. Like, how many episodes has there been now where these three are like, "We are going to have the best night tonight, you guys," and they always announce how fun it's going to be, and it's always fucking lame. And it's just another announcement, like, deciding to get off the property, money moves. Tonight is finally going to be a good night. It's never going to happen, okay?
You're still in the lot. They're like in that lobby bar for like 3 hours waiting to go.
Waiting to piss them off, you know? They're like, "Yeah, we're so going off property. Can't wait till people see us sitting here and try and start something with us."
And Lala saying, "Yeah, your birthday is what we really should be celebrating." I'm like, you know, look, it's fine. I've definitely gone to weddings where I'm like, ugh. But like, don't act like you're just like right there for Scheana, like you're her like your bestie. You're there to support her through thick and thin, and then you're like shit talking that fact that there even is a wedding in the first place. I don't know. Yeah. I just the disingenuousness of it really is bothering me this episode.
So back at Hibachi, Schwartz is like, "I'm going to have a talk with Katie at some point today, I guess." And she's like, "Yeah, your ex-wife?" And he's like, "Yeah." She goes, "I mean, I feel like I'm in the doghouse, like more than you're in the doghouse." And he's like, "God, yeah, you know why? Because we're anti-establishment. We're rock and roll."
By the way, Schwartz literally does not have to have a conversation with Katie. And that's not an anti-Katie sentiment. That's more of a anti- Schwartz being stupid, because like Schwartz saying that he needs to have a talk with Katie is only so that way he can repair his image. It's not to make sure that she feels better. So James is basically like, "Well, you know what? So, all right. So you made out with Peter, Schwartz, and there's Tom, and like, who else can you make out with? Like, who else is in our friend group that you can make out with?" And Raquel's like, "I'm just like trying to have like a little fun." And goes, "Oh yeah, we'll live a little. Yeah, it's just funny. Like you can't find your own people. Like it had to be Schwartz and Peter and like all these little people here. Like why you have to do that?"
It's like, these are the people that are around me in my life, which I get what James is saying. Like, "Oh, so now you have to dip into my friends? Why do you have to like, well, hello, you used Kristen to get on this show.
Yeah.
And you had no problem being on the show with all of her friends once you broke up. You're not really in the place to make this judgment, sir."
That's true. So, James is like, "I just think you're like a little bit lost, but it has like nothing to do with me. So like, it's just funny. Like, 'cause every time I look over, you guys are having like a conversation in the corner and like, it's obvious, you know, chemistry and like, stop lying to yourself, mate. Like have the fucking balls to make out with her so that I can yell at her and be like, why are you making out with her?"
And he's like, "But if there was chemistry, I would man up and say it. I mean, have we ever touched each other, Raquel? Have we ever had one romantic moment besides last night?" And James is like, "Shut up!" And Raquel says, "Well, it's been very flirty. I mean, it has been flirty." And, you know, Tom's just basically doing to her what he probably will do to everybody in his life, which is act really charming and act like he likes you and get you all worked up into him and then treat you like crap. And that's how he keeps you coming back. You know?
And notably at this point, because in anticipation of James and Allie joining at the Hibachi, Raquel and Tom switch seats. So now Raquel is in between both Toms, which is really a visual for this show. So now Raquel, though, is starting to question whether or not there's really a future for her and Tom Schwartz, because she's basically saying, well, there's not like a lot of, it's like I thought there was chemistry between us, but now he's minimizing it and just giving me high fives. It's a little heartbreaking. I'm like, yeah, that's called trying to have any sort of relationship with Tom Schwartz.
Yeah.
So James is like, listen, I just had to say it once to you. Like, I see you making out with all the guys in the group. I mean, after we were engaged, I mean, we were together for 5 years and you're making out with all these guys. And she's like, well, we were together for 5 years and then in 3 weeks you have a new girlfriend. So I was like, oh, Point Raquel.
Also, you fucked Lala. You don't get to come, like, that's one of the big jokes of the season is you and Lala admitting, oh yeah, that whole time we fucked. So you're not allowed to, and I hate that I'm having to stick up for Raquel, but fucking James, like, who are you? You don't get to say this to anybody, you know? I don't care how much Raquel sucks.
The lazy Susan
Truly.
continues to spin.
I mean, it's like 10 times an episode where I'm like, God, why am I standing up for this person?
I know.
It's like,
I feel like the next scene I'm going to be defending Lala. I'll be like, how dare someone say that to Lala? I already had like my Lala plate that's now moving along.
all I can say is I love to look for signs in this. And Raquel is between the two Toms, and she's also sitting right in front of the little fire alarm pole, which I thought was really funny. So James is like, oh, well, guess what? I do have a girlfriend. You know, I did have a girlfriend. And it's like, I've never loved anyone more in my life. It's like the most in love I've ever been in my whole life. So it's amazing. It's amazing. She goes, oh, yeah, I'm sure, James. I'm sure. And he goes, yeah, and I don't think I was ever in love with you. Thank God we never got married. Remember when you gave me that flower, Ali? Remember?
If only Ali were here to see how much I love her. I'm right here, James. Oh,
Shut up. I'm not talking to you right now. Shut up.
So now Ali, Ali decides to leave. This, again, classic Ali move. She just leaves in the middle of scenes. And she goes over to the lobby to hang out with Lala and Christina and Katie. And she's like, hi. And then, she said she's going to do that. And Jim's like, don't let them kidnap you. So, by the way, did you notice the mass amounts of bottles of Class Azul in the background? Of course, now I see them everywhere after Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip.
So she goes down to the lobby, and everyone's like, you look cute, you look cute, you look cute, you look cute. And so Christina's like, how's dinner over there? And she's like, it was fine. Once we sat down and I had a drink and accepted the situation for what it was. It's like, oh, sounds great.
Yeah.
He sounds like the one for you, Ali. You should definitely stay in this relationship. So Lala's like, but how is that? Like hibachi? Where the tables flunk? And she goes, yeah.
By the way, sign that Lala does not like Ali, that she's trying to make conversation about what the hibachi table was like.
Well, she's just asking her where everybody's sitting, basically, right?
Yeah.
So Ali's like, yeah, I mean, it was me, then James, then Schwartz, then Raquel, and James comes in and he's like, hello, I brought you food since you didn't have dinner. Look deep into my eyes now. Kiss me hard. Can the woman have fucking 5 minutes away from you, dude?
Seriously. So now the other dinner is ending, so people are starting to trickle into the lobby. So they've been sitting there for the duration of a dinner, and so now Sandoval's at the bar, and Schwartz is coming up. So Lala's like, "We gotta get out of here! So they're like leaving, and Schwartz is like, Katie, and Lala's like, no, stop it. She's very upset, and Katie's like, he is fucked up so many times, and he's fucked up for the last time. I am going to divorce that man. It's like, oh, you actually already did, which is the good news.
You know what's funny is this when Ali said, I'm going to go see Lala and Katie before they leave for dinner, I didn't realize they were still in the hotel in the lobby. So,
that's the hotel lobby, yeah.
I know you realized it earlier, but I didn't realize it. And so...
No, at first I didn't think it was the hotel.
When Ali comes in and we find out they're in the hotel lobby, I was like, you fucking losers. You fucking losers. You are acting like, oh, yeah, we don't need them. We're going out to have our independent night. And you're literally sitting right outside the restaurant just trying to start some shit. You guys are the saddest that I've seen in a long time. So now people come out so they get to start drama, and then Katie gets to be all offended at Schwartz as if she wasn't sitting there waiting to see Schwartz and be all offended. I can't. These people are all fucking ridiculous.
So Schwartz is like, this is such a silly thing. And Lala's like, it's not a silly thing. And Katie's just like watching and
no, Lala didn't say that. Oh, she said, it's not a silly thing. Sorry. Okay, go
apologies. And Katie is like, he looks like a sweaty pig right now. I'm like, well, that is true. And Lala's like, well, again, guess what? You look snatched. So now they go to this cave bar. The lobby people now that they've gotten the gossip from the hibachi, they can move on to their actual dinner. So they go to this cave bar
They actually go to a cave, which is actually the only place anyone in this cast has the possibility of finding someone that could fit in on this cast. So good move. First good move I've seen you guys make.
Hey, this is where they all went to school, in a cave. So James is like,
Fire.
So they're like, James, you look so good with two girls. Welcome to Girls Night, James. And Lala's
He's like, can I DJ here? I want to be intercavanal. Can I? Anybody get? I'm going to play something on my iPhone. All right.
I just played a cave. All
right, DJ James Kennedy, Deep Earth. Coming soon.
I just played Cavecella. So they sit down, and Allie's like, I feel like Lala should be at the head of the table for some reason. So she's clearly trying to get into Lala's good graces, right? So Lala's like, oh my God, thanks. So James is like, so let me tell you about dinner. I mean, it was like literally like a quadruple date of stupid people. And Katie's
like, so Tom and Raquel are dating now. And he's like, well, I'm pretty sure Raquel was a Hodsbury. Was that what he said? What was this word? I wrote question mark.
Pretty sure that she has the hots for him.
Oh.
But
I'm pretty sure Raquel was a Hodsbury.
It's very British. It's like that's like a British curse. She's a stupid Hodsbury.
I mean, she's trying to do something down there, isn't she? And Katie's like, I want to light them both on fucking fire.
And Lala goes, I have just.
And James goes, same. Holy fuck.
What he did crossed every line, and there's no coming back from this. I've sat them both down, tears in my eyes. And Katie, she's like, please, guys, one fucking request. You've been drunk imbeciles. And so the food arrives, and James is, so they're like, yeah, they're just sort of like commiserating and how awful Tom and Raquel are and everything. And James has like this weird moment where he's like eating, and he's like, I need to get some beauty rest tonight. And he like puckers his face like he's one of these. He's sort of like, something going on with James on this trip.
What do you mean?
He just is like, he's very like up and down. He's little
Coke. So then, is that what you're asking? If he's totally coked out this whole time? Of course.
Yeah, I was I was getting that vibe.
Of course. So then, wouldn't you be? I would be at this wedding and be like, yes! And I'd be screaming at somebody in the back and then making out with somebody in the next second.
So,
God, I love weddings. Okay, so Christina's like, wait, there's a food question I have first. And I admit I'm an imbecile, but I just have to ask. James goes, are those prawns? And Katie goes, no, they're shrimp. Aren't prawns shrimp?
I think yes and no. I think that like in England,
it's one of those, a yes and a no, isn't it?
It's a yes and a no. Listen, Vanderpump Rules is a show of subtlety and gray areas. I think that in England, shrimp are referred to as prawns, but I think in America, shrimp are shrimp, and prawns are like they're almost like bigger. They're just like bigger shrimp. And I'm sure they may have like some sort of like different genus and classification or whatever. But I think that when James said, are those prawns, he probably meant, are those shrimp? And Katie said, no, they're shrimp. And that was probably left in there as like a subtle wink to people who picked up on that, like you did.
Oh, well, thanks for making me feel like I just got winked at.
Yeah, welcome to Shrimpopedia. So Lala is like... Meanwhile, Lala's like, yeah, you know what? I knew the weather was going to be like down here because the Don was here last week. I'm like, oh, congratulations on your inside track on weather.
From the Dom. And so we get another one of her spring flashbacks, which I don't need to listen. It's like, how many times do you need to go to SeaWorld? Okay, I don't need another orca show. I'm done. So she starts talking about this because Christina, of course, is bored as hell with these people. And she's like, so what are you wearing to the wedding, Lala? And she's like, is it too informal to wear a suit jacket over shorts? And she goes, but it's so hot. Are you going to be okay with that at the wedding? It's going to be so fun. You're going to take pictures? You should take pictures. Send me pictures. Tag me.
How about this? Oh, you know, it'd be funny. It'd be like the Parent Trap sort of. How about I wear a suit jacket over my shoulders and I'll just go there. I'll go to the wedding and I'll just tell everyone I'm you. And that way you can hang out with Katie, but I'll be at the wedding.
I'll just be like, hi, everybody. I just squirted.
So I'll be like, hey, I'm a boss bitch, and use a hoe, and use a hoe.
Oh, God.
Right?
So when they bring up the Dom, James asks who that is, and Lala's like, a boy I met in Havasis. And then we see the clip, and Lala's like, yeah, and I had sex for the first time in a really long time. I told him the dick's got me discombobulated right now. And Katie goes, not discombobulated, dick's combobulated.
James is like, oh, no, you did not. Oh, no, you did not. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. I actually kind of liked it. I'm not going to lie, Ronnie. I kind of liked the wordplay.
Well, that was kind of an us thing to say to each other, isn't it?
It was actually very Samantha on Sex and the City. Discombobulated. More like dicks combobulated. I would have said dick combobulated, not dicks combobulated.
Oh. So
That's my
then we
notes.
go back to dreams, and we're in Scheana and Brock's room for a party. Like the girls are like, not partying, but like after partying, sitting on the couches and stuff. And they're talking about Sheena's dress, and has Brock seen the dress yet? And Scheana goes, you guys, I know I've been wearing my wedding band a while now because I've been married a while now. And they're like, what, Scheana? And she tells us, I'm such an open book. It was like so hard to keep this secret.
I love how she managed to compliment herself while she describes that she's doing this. I'm like such an open book. Like one thing that's great about me is like what you see is what you get. But it was really hard to keep this lie. So she says, well, when like his investor's visa like needed to get changed and like I wanted him to get like a green card because I was like really into this like moment of wearing green a lot. So I was like, you can match with your card. And then we also have a baby together and we like to put the baby in green too. And like we literally have been like, we're going to be together forever. And like we literally said like a couple of words and like signed a paper and like now we're like been married now.
Nah, you guys, like, it's actually our 1-year anniversary this week. And Ariana's like, you know what? So many people, like, get married just because they want the wedding. But, like, you guys have been living like marriage, but then you're having a wedding, and that's, like, icing on the cake. And she's like, yeah, because I'm an open book. It's like an open book marrying a hot guy.
It's like an open book with icing on it. Have you ever had that? So she was like, yeah, we got married for us, okay? Because we did this because we want a life together. Like, we have a baby together. We have, like, a very important vlog together that focuses on wall climbing, okay? And, like, it didn't matter that it was done for 100 people or 4 people, but ideally we were hoping for about 230 people.
I wish we got a clip of them getting married in the bathroom of James's engagement party in Santa Barbara or wherever the hell that was, Palm Springs, wherever that was.
That's my cousin is getting married at that estate in June. I'm going to be going there. Yes.
I just wanted to hear a good, I do, and then like a toilet flush behind it. That's so cool. You're going to get to go there.
I'm
Who's getting married?
My cousin McLean. So we're
McLean.
going.
I love it. Love the name
McLean.
McLean.
Look at that. Surprise.
I didn't even know you had a cousin McLean.
I have a cousin McLean.
Is it a girl or a guy?
It's a guy. It's a boy.
Oh, hot. That's a hot name, McLean. Is he hot?
Yeah. Yeah, he is hot. We're happy for McLean. So he's getting married.
I'm going to break him up. I want to be with someone named McLean.
But
McLean Karam.
Well, the wedding is happening at that vineyard that James and Raquel had their engagement party at. So like it's sort of like Castle-y or whatever. So yeah, I'll keep my eye out for any sort of evidence of ne'er-do-wellism from the Vanderpump Rules times.
I love it. So Brock comes back to the room and he's like, oh, I'm exhausted. How long are you guys going to be around here? I'm like, God, geez, fine. We'll leave. God.
So Scheana it's like, by the way, Raquel, like I hear you don't want to walk with Schwartz down the aisle anymore. And Ariana's like, please show them why. And so Raquel says, as a pageant girl emeritus and as a model maybe never was, a walk down any runway / aisle is very important. And then we see that like when they were trying to walk down the aisle, of course, Schwartz like couldn't even walk down an aisle properly. He couldn't even manage that simple
task. He's like being a little kid, like trying to be hilarious. And she goes, and Joey's a good walker, so I'm going to do it with him. And then we see Joey walking. How is Joey any better? Joey's walking with like fake swag. It's like, you know how you look like one of your legs is kind of limping? Like you're dragging one of your legs and one arm is swinging. I was like, oh, okay.
I think that he could
Are
functionally
you in a
walk.
DJ James Kennedy video? Like, who are you right now?
I think the fact that he was not doing a Mr. Bean bit is what really just sealed the deal for him. Like, it's like he's just able to kind of walk in a relatively normal way.
So then they leave, and then the next day, guys and girls' rooms, everybody's getting ready for the wedding. And Scheana's like, Ariana, are you flocking me right now? Because I'm about to pop a bottle. A drink will really take the edge off right now, YouTube. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below.
Like and subscribe to this bottle of champagne. Hey, you know what? It's like crazy to think that like back like to the morning, like the days leading up to like my first wedding with like Shay, and like because like I had like such a massive pit in my stomach, but I think it's because I accidentally ate an entire peach, and then like I just like I thought that was normal. I thought that's like what you do, and like everyone gets cold feet or nerves or something like that, like before you make a lifelong commitment. But like that, but now I know that like that's not what it's supposed to feel like. I'm just like I just feel so lucky to be this. I am like so happy right now.
Well, you're also a lot calmer because before you thought of it as a lifelong commitment, and then you got divorced, and now you realize it's not really a lifetime commitment if you don't want it to be. I mean, you should be less nervous the second time around.
Yeah.
I feel like divorce should calm you down for as many weddings as you're willing to have in the future. Good for you.
Yeah, or just make you deeply paranoid, give you huge trust issues. Who knows? So, so now the girls, everyone's just like to makeup, and then guys are drinking out of shoes and stuff. And Scheana's like, back in 2014, I got so much shit for my crop top dress. And we have a flashback of her being like, thank you. And the famous moment where she goes, I wear crop tops all the time. Like, that's kind of like my thing.
That's
so, like, why wouldn't I wear a wedding dress?
That's like my thing. Crop tops are my thing. Sorry, I just spilled soda all over myself.
Yeah, what happened over there?
Oh, God,
I can't believe you like we spilled on Scheana's wedding.
Oh God, I don't even have a napkin in here. Can I wipe it with my shirt? Like a 5-year-old. Yeah, it's like so crazy. Like crop tops are my thing. Aunt D. And like we heard the mention of Aunt D, who made her that crop top wedding dress.
Yeah.
And Peter is looking like a mess and takes a seat. And then we see James is with Lala and Allie, and then Katie and Christina are in their room trying not to be bitter. They're in like bathrobes, and Christina's like, I think it's hilarious we're right outside their wedding. And Katie's like, yeah, everyone's outside their wedding because their wedding's like in the middle of the resort.
And Christina goes, if she was smart, she'd have a really good seating chart put together, but like poor Allie keeps getting stuck next to Raquel, though. I'm like, well, that one you can blame on the producers. That's a producer thing for sure. So then Katie is like, she's like, yeah, well, at the wedding party usually sits next to each other, and like Raquel and Schwartz will be sat next to each other. Like, so like let the two new lovebirds have their time. Great.
She's like, yeah, well, I guess we're going to have to see how it goes. And so we get romantic tinkles as the wedding begins. And then people start walking down the aisle. And Christina's like, you want me to go down there and scoop it out? I mean, I can go out on the balcony and just watch.
Maybe look at it.
And Katie's like, I mean, if you want to.
I mean, oh, look, I found some opera glasses for us. Where did these come from? Let's go out to the balcony and watch.
Yeah, because I mean, look, I'm just kind of curious on my own because, like, I want to see, like, how she walks out. Like, just come with me, just to peek. Katie's
It'll
like,
be quick.
What if they can see us, though?
And Katie's like, is that them? Is that them? And so we're seeing more of the procession, and Raquel's walking with Joey and everything. And Katie's like,
Joey's
hey,
hot as fuck.
Joey
Who's
is so
Joey?
hot. Joey is the fake the fake Schwartz from early this season, remember?
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
Yeah,
hot.
he is no
so
Schwartz.
hot. Like, that's the real reason why Raquel switched it up, you know? He is hot. So
now that's who you ruin someone's life over, okay?
Yeah.
That man. Now that
Yeah.
man ruin a life over, okay? Jeez.
So Katie's watching Raquel with Joey, and she's like, that doesn't look like Schwartz. He's not walking like Schwartz would. He doesn't have toilet paper stuck to his shoe, and his shirt's tucked in. I don't think it's Schwartz.
Unless he got a haircut, Katie says. So then Brock is like, Summer! Hello, Summer! Oh my God. And Summer Moon is so cute.
Adorable.
And she's supposed to be the flower girl, but she's so little. And so the mom just picks her up and puts her on the lap, and then she just throws She just throws a bunch of
She's a disruptor.
petals.
She's a disruptor to all the flower girl conventions.
She's a disruptor. Yes, you go, Summer Moon. She's so cute.
She was really adorable.
I think it's because it was like the combination of seeing that super hot fucking guy walking Raquel down the aisle and then seeing a baby that I was like, oh my God, life is worth it. Maybe love is worth it. Maybe this could all happen. And then I just started crying through the rest of this wedding.
All you needed was like a little baby elephant to come walking up on the beach.
This was like the cutest fucking thing. And then Scheana starts walking down the aisle with Jorah Depardieu. I was like, oh my God.
And then someone yells out, it's picture perfect. And then it cuts immediately to Katie and Christina in their robes on the balcony looking at it. Like
Christina's like, this is actually like beautiful. And Katie goes, yeah, makes me want to cry. And I'm glad they're not being bitter, because I thought this scene was going to be them being horrible.
I thought they were making
I was
fun,
like, wow, Katie's totally turned a corner. And I'm sure she's going to stay that way the whole episode. So then Brock is crying and I'm crying. And then the veil is blowing in the wind. And they're like, oh my God, Veil, who invited you to this wedding? Get in here, girl.
Do we take the veil off? Do we take the veil off? Do we take the veil off? Okay, everyone, I put up a poll on my Insta. Should I take the veil off?
If you
can all go onto your phones.
I put, should we take this off? Internet poll, flog this.
Hey, smash that like button and vote. Everyone's on there.
We're so dumb. So Scheana's like, my first wedding, I was so worried about everything going right that I didn't even notice that it was the wedding that was wrong in the first place. And this time I could be in the Sir Alley during gay pride getting married and I wouldn't even care.
So that they have vows, and Brock is like, Scheana, you are my friend, my passion, my drive, and my true north. And the love that I have for you overflows my cup. And I know you are the one, because when we hold each other and I hold you in my arms, the world fades away and our souls embrace. And then our souls chug some beers.
He pulls out his vase and goes, oh my God, yours are shorter than mine. His is like a little fortune cookie. It's just like, Scheana, I knew you was the one for me because you don't mind when I fought in bed. Hey, but your turn.
Who would have thought that the man who slid into my DMs 3 years ago would turn out to be the most incredible partner and father and climbing wall vlogger videotaper I could ever ask for?
I mean, you really understand white balance.
It takes a real man not to just do auto, okay? To do manual white balance.
And she's like, but you and Summer are like my only people in the And I'm like, ah! I was crying. I feel so stupid.
Were you really?
Yes. I cried. I have a general rule not to cry at second weddings, first of all. But man, I cried. I don't know why.
I have to say, it actually looked like a pretty good wedding weekend. Like, I think that that big party night looked really fun. The dinners all looked pretty good. Like, it looked like a really good weekend. Yeah. So Katie is like, Katie's like, oh, I think we have to get ready for dinner. And Christina's like, I mean, that was very beautiful. Do you want to go back out on the balcony? We can look at it some more. I think you know what? Maybe we'll go downstairs and look at it in person.
I want to throw the rice from up here, but I don't want to hurt anybody. She's like, you really did get rice, you fucking bitch. So Katie's like, I mean, weddings are beautiful. I love weddings, just not that one. I was like, well, you tried being a decent human being for about 30 seconds. So Christina's like, I guess we have an hour to get ready. I just have one option, though, and I think you're going to laugh. It's a white dress. So and Katie's like, is that the only thing you have? She goes, the only thing I'll wear, bitch.
Katie goes.
Christina's like changing the end of this here.
I know. Katie's like, you and Scheana are matching. Christina's like, yeah, that's why I kind of made a thing about that you would laugh, because it's like, that's the whole point, is that it's white like Scheana. You didn't have to actually articulate what the joke was, Katie.
Yeah, but like, it's funny. I get it. You do?
It's cool.
Yeah, I get it. You totally get it? Yeah, I get it. Like, you totally think, is it like haha funny or like just like funny?
I don't know. But you know what I think would be really fun? I'm going to put on this white dress, and then I'm going to Scheana's wedding. Wouldn't that be hilarious if I did that?
So then we go to Lala, James, and Allie, and Lala's like, so, Alice, does that give you the wedding bugs? And she goes, well, I mean, yeah, it was beautiful. She goes, yeah, that wedding was stunning. Stunning.
She definitely said stunning. And so then Allie's Lala's asking how James would do it, or Allie asks, and James is like, I don't know how to do the wedding. I know I'm very creative. And Lala's like, well, you wanted to do it in Palm Springs Desert before. And so James gets all mad. She's like, what? Oh, like, because you had that in your mind for like a sec, you know? And James is like, well, that was my last relationship, and this is a completely new one. Okay, we're not going to do Palm Springs. For this one, we're going to do Palm Desert.
She's like, am I triggering you? And he's like, well, hopefully it will be our idea one day. Me and this person here. Me and Raquel, the second Raquel. Maybe it'll be ours. And Allie's like, yeah. And so James tells us, if it's not a dig, I'll tell you this. It's like one of my number one hits. It's a stupid thing to say. Lala. Right?
But, you know, she's still, like, butthurt in some way, like, how it didn't work out for me, la, 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 la. Like, I don't even get into it, la, la, we already know. So now Raquel and Schwartz are just, like, walking along, and Schwartz is like, oh, I got into big trouble. Oh, she said, more or less, I don't ever want to talk to you ever again. And then we see Katie's texts, which were like, I hate you, never speak to me again, the one fucking thing, both are trash, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. The kind of hate and anger I feel for you, you can't even imagine.
Yes, I never want to speak to you again. Of course, Katie, this is a good old-fashioned tequila Katie text, which I love, because she says she never wants to speak to you again, but she says it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different texts, hoping that you'll text back once. You know what I mean? When you're like, bloop, and I'll just wait to see if he texts back. Oh, really? He's not texting back again? Okay, never speak to me again then. Boop.
I never want to speak to you again. And here's my follow-up text to reassert that.
And I know if we saw the timestamps on this shit, those would be like 2 to 3 minutes apart each, while she's just waiting for him to text her back.
I felt like thrilling to get like a little piece of Tequila Katie back. So
no.
Just because it's, you know, before she became self-conscious, she used to unleash Tequila Katie all the time. And it was such a chaotic craziness.
Yes.
So
yeah, he's like, Raquel's trying to flirt, and he's talking about Katie, you know, just typical. And he's like, yeah, well, I don't think she means that she won't talk to me again. I mean, I hope she doesn't mean it. And she's like, well, I mean, it's not like we're a couple or anything. Oh, speaking of, I hope you don't have hard feelings about the last minute switch of walking. It's just because in rehearsal, your walking skills weren't up to my standards. And then so he starts walking funny again. And she's like, oh my God, so elegant. Ha, 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 ha. He's
also,
like,
there was a
calamity,
much hotter
though, about Katie. Oh my God, I haven't seen Katie since. Oh, she's going to give me a look. I know the look she's going to give me. I almost want to go up and meet up with her. I got to get to Katie. It's like, fail. Raquel, fail. What were you going to say?
Yeah, no, I was going to say when she said like, oh, sorry, your walking skills weren't up to my standards. And also I found a much hotter version of you. So I went back to the Joey
That guy
model.
is not any version of Schwartz. I don't see what anybody is talking about. Schwartz could never. Joey wins. Every argument.
Joey wins. Bring Joey
wins.
onto the cast.
Yes.
So there's just more wedding stuff. There's like a first dance. Scheana's basically like, by the way, did you see Walter in the background of one of these scenes?
No.
I think it was the scene where they were talking about, James's wedding, potential wedding. Walter was just in the background just talking. I was like, there's Walter.
Oh, that's cute. I didn't know they went.
Yeah, so Scheana's like, everyone I want is here, like witnessing this moment with us. It could not be more perfect. I don't even know what word to use to describe this feeling right now. Enchiladas! Yeah, I think that was it. That was the word.
I think it's so funny that she did the dirty dancing thing for
Yes.
her wedding. It's just so Scheana, you know, for them to do the dance, and then he lifts her up and she's balancing her stomach with her arms out, and then firework things go off besides them, and then Sandoval's like, well, I'll take off my sunglasses for that. Would you the fuck out of here, dude? It's nighttime. What are you wearing your sunglasses for, you fucking poser? So then Sheena's like, I don't even know what words to use right now. Corner. It's all happening. Crop top.
I think I'll have one of each of the prime cocktails.
So now we go back to Katie and Christina.
So now they're at a restaurant. I think this may have even been the restaurant
It's a
that
hibachi
everyone went to.
Right?
Well, it's not that resort living where there's 3 restaurants and you got to go from one to the next, and they all have mediocre food.
Yes.
So they're sitting there, and Christina's checking to see if Lala. Oh, hold on, let me see if Lala texted. She didn't text. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, probably not.
She still hasn't texted.
Yeah, just check again. Go ahead. Why don't you check?
Okay.
She hasn't done.
Wait.
I'm telling you.
She didn't text. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, she's probably having fun, which I mean, I guess is good. It's not like she's not gonna have fun. And Christina's like, yeah, it's our last night. And Katie goes, are you sad? And Christina's like, I'm gonna miss waking up with you and like getting room service. At the end of the day, you get nothing for nothing. If you like knew how the trip was gonna go, would you still come on the trip? And Katie's like, no. Like, well, that's nice. Glad Christina took moments out of her gardening life to be here for you.
Well, I mean, it's kind of funny because, you know, a lot of people have been like, you know, during the hotel debate, everyone's like, guys, you know, like, this is the cast trip. Katie, of course, Katie had to be there. It's like, yes, Katie had to be there, but also Katie had to anticipate that it was just going to be just like a shit sandwich just thrown at her face, right? Like, so now she's like, no, I wouldn't have come if I had realized that. It's like, well, it's like you've been on the show for 10 years and you know it's always going to be high drama on this cast trips.
So then someone throws some flame on the hibachi and the fire goes whoosh, and Tom Schwartz is right behind it.
And here is the shit sandwich. The shit sandwich has arrived.
I love that he got a fire entrance. That was so funny. It's like, whoosh. He's like, hi guys.
So this guy, what is he doing here? He does not have to be here. Like, she is so agitated. She is so angry, rightfully so. And then he's going to come in and just like,
you don't know what he's doing? He's coming to make Katie look like a bitch on national TV. Again,
well, of course,
that's what he does. He pulls her right into looking like a total asshole. And then she falls into it every single time. Although this time,
actually, I don't think she fell into it this time.
I'm not going to go down the Katie looks like an asshole point, because it is nice to see Katie actually get a chance to tell his stupid ass off.
Yeah, I actually think that Katie did not look like an asshole in this situation.
No,
and,
I'm just saying.
My question was like rhetorical, because it's like, of course he's coming here to make her look bad, to make him look good and her look bad.
Exactly.
And it's like he's not coming here for like to be a good a good ex-husband or anything like that.
No.
So he's like, oh, hi. I just want to say hi for a sec. And Christina's like, how did you know we were here? And he's like, well, I was creeping around for a second, and then
he's like,
the producer said, in here.
He's like, crows led me through a dark fog. And this is where I ended up. Whoa, this looks delicious. And he takes a piece of the sushi and eats it. And Katie
one of their pieces of sushi.
Katie has that hate look in her eyes. And she's like, why aren't you at the wedding? And he's like, I just wanted to say hi. I mean, I didn't want there to be any weird tension or anything. And Katie's like, I think we're way past that. And he goes, how far way past? How far? How far? Is it like Valley to Encino? Or is it like West Hollywood to like Malibu? Like, how far?
It is literally Marina Del Rey to any place in Los Angeles, that far. So he's like, well, look, we've been divorced for 7 months. Like, what does it matter? What does it matter? So here he is, coming here under the guise of making things right and already coming at her, you know? And Christina's like, I mean, you know what it matters. I'll tell you what it matters. Katie, I've done my part. You have to say the rest of the sentence. And Katie's like, well, we've had this conversation, and you promised you would never do that. And you also promised for months that you would never do that. And then you did that in the most humiliating public way towards me, and I'm done with you disrespecting me, Stan Zbornak.
And he's like, I didn't realize everyone was watching. Which, of course, he was being cheered the whole time. And Christina says, how did you not realize you were around all your friends, Tom? And he's like, I was caught up in the moment. And Katie says, I hope it's worth it because we're done. No friendship, no amicability. I didn't have any hatred for you, but now I do. No sandwiches from you. It's something about her. I'm telling you that right now. Do not come to me looking for free carbs.
Yeah. My restaurant's going to be called Something About Her / Something Not About Him. So then she goes, well, that sucks for you. And so
Idiot.
Katie's...
This fucking guy.
And by the way, I feel like it should have been no friendship, no amicability since the start, personally. So Katie's like, I have zero desire to talk to this shell of a man that I used to love. And so Schwartz is like, it sucks that you're holding on to so much toxicity and negativity that you caused, Schwartz. That you created the toxicity and negativity.
Well, she kind of helped with the whole Raquel, someone who she's didn't even like. For it. But I think in this moment she's right, so I'll stick with her.
She's 100% right in this situation.
So she's like, Tom, I thought you genuinely cared about me and my feelings and keeping this amicable. And Schwartz is like, this is exhausting. I'm not going to lie, which I have to say to both of you, it is. You've always been fucking exhausting. You're both horrible. This couple's terrible. You've been a terrible couple, and you've been terrible people individually and together. I'm done watching you. Go away now, please. Please, go somewhere else, okay? Both of you go plant yourselves somewhere else and grow beautiful gardens off of my television. You get the same as Joe Gorga and Teresa Giudice to me. Go. Just go now. We're done. Yeah. We're done here. Check, please.
So Katie's like, Tom didn't just burn the bridge between us. He nuked it. And I'm like, that's 100% true. But also anytime I know people who break up and they always go through this pattern, trying to be friends afterwards. And then it always goes terribly. You always wind up in a worse situation than if you just taken some time away from each other. And there's always this moment like, well, now it's over. Now like they've ruined it all. I'm like, yeah, but you're not in the relationship anymore, which I understand. It's with divorce, it's more complicated than that. But I'm just kind of move on from this walking turd. You don't need him anymore. Go forward. You don't need someone who's going to come in and eat your sushi that you paid for.
Yeah. So then Katie gives she has a very nice turn in this scene. I had to applaud her because she just goes, get the fuck out of my face. I think you're pathetic. I think you're a drunk. And I think you're a loser.
It was her best moment of the season.
Finally, we've been trying to tell you that for 10 goddamn years. I'm so fucking glad you're finally here. Welcome to the table.
I was really happy. I was really happy. I was like, finally, yes, you are acknowledging what we're seeing. You can move forward now. Stop trying to be friends with this person. Just move forward and now enter your glory era. So Schwartz is like, well, this doesn't affect me at all because I don't give a fuck anymore. This does not hurt me. I am disconnected from you. I'm like, well, then why did you come here to the sushi restaurant?
And he's like, I love you, but this does not hurt me. I'm disconnected. And he tells us, for the longest time, I felt like Katie was divorcing me. But after the kiss, there's some finality now. I feel divorced. He smiled. And I think it's so funny that he and Sandoval say the same thing. They feel miserable and sad, but then they kiss a younger, hotter woman, and it makes them feel free again. You guys are such lame fucking stereotypes. And I can't wait till you get both of you get cheated on and she takes you for everything you're worth, whoever the next one is, because you guys are losers and look at people as nothing but validation tokens for your own, aging, weathered ass, Balaban, porn stash, idiot asses. So I can't wait to see what comes to you in the future.
Yeah. So Schwartz is like, you know what you need, Katie? Humility. You don't know what that is. I'm like, sir, you need to leave. You barked up this tree, and this tree was busy eating sushi, and you ate some of that tree's sushi. You need to leave right now. He should have been kicked out the moment he sat there after making out with a girl that like she said, please don't make out with her. He comes in and sits down and ate a piece of her sushi. Oh, God, that made me so mad.
So Christina's like, you need to go. So he goes out and then he starts doing his little dance thing where he's like, hi, bye everyone, bye. I'm like, oh God. So transparent, his cutesy, aw shucksy thing all the way out the restaurant after he just got his ass handed to him.
Exactly. It's like, I'm realizing now it's not healthy to hang out that much after a divorce. No matter how much you care about that person and love them, it's a good idea to take a nice, healthy break, which is what I've been saying since the beginning of the season. So anyway, I feel like there's validation all over the place. So Raquel is now talking to Lala. I'm like, oh, the episode's over. But no, Raquel's going to talk to Lala now. And Raquel's like, hey, I just want to say I feel bad about my comment that I made to you at the pool party, even though what I said to you is just so much tamer than anything you've ever said to me over the past 5 years. But I feel bad about it, so I'm sorry.
And Lala's like, yeah, I'm still confused. Like, I thought we had a really fun trip in Vegas and a really beautiful moment in the car, so I'm not really sure what the disconnect was. Okay. Oh, you don't? But also, she doesn't. What I'm realizing in this scene, too, is Lala and those girls don't know that Raquel heard them talking about her and laughing about her, right?
I'm not sure, but they still, like, they do know that they said to Raquel, like, I don't trust my man around you. And you know what? As it turns out, they shouldn't. And their gut was correct. But at that moment, they didn't know their gut was correct.
Yeah. And so Raquel's like, well, I'm confused about why you guys were like honing in on me so much. And she says, well, I'll be confused that look, I don't think you remember anything in Vegas because you drinks and I don't drinks. So you're an alcoholic. So basically no one was judging you. Okay. Nobody. What's judging you? And then we see a clip of, I would never trust you around my man. And then Christina saying, guys, she's in there listening to music. And Lala going, Taylor Swift's? And Christina saying, yeah, and the whole room is covered in lights. And Lala saying, guys, is she going to murder us tonight?
They totally weren't being judgmental.
Those girls are such mean girls and they're called out. Lala's the best at this, just turning it around and showing zero. She'll turn it around and just give on 0 points. She should be in politics. She'd be actually really good at it.
Also, like Lala's whole thing that she always says is, like, she goes hard. Like the whole thing when she said, like, I see you guys aren't working in your summer bodies. Then she'll say, oh, I go really mean because, if someone comes at me, I come back harder. Like that's her whole thing. She's one of those people. You come at me, I come back 10 times harder. So what does Lala do? Lala says something to Raquel, even though it happens to be true later on. But she says, like, I wouldn't trust you with my man. Raquel comes back with something, and then she's like, I cannot believe she would say that. Like, Lala is literally reacting the way that Stassi and Kristen and Katie reacted when she said, like, the summer bodies thing, and Lala was like, they just have to get over it. So, like, there's so much hypocrisy. But you know what, though? I'm not mad about the hypocrisy. I'm actually embracing it and loving it because it's really wonderful to have this season where we get to, like, have these emotions and experiences again.
So Raquel's like, I didn't get the feeling you guys were laughing with me. And Lala's like, you felt like we were laughing at you? Well, you were all over the place, Raquel. And she goes, well, I know. I guess I was a bit of a drunk mess. And she goes, yeah, and guess what? That's fine because we're in Vegas. It's like, then why are you saying that? Like, you can't remember anything. You don't know anything going on. You're treating her like she's Jane Fonda in Fluke, where she just wakes up and can't remember anything. Like, come on, what a random thing to bring up. But I love that. I saw a clip of that the other day somewhere. I was like, oh, this movie. But you're acting like she was just completely drunk and drugged out of her mind or something. So anyway, Raquel's like, well, my friends wouldn't judge me for being drunk in Vegas, basically. And she goes, no one did judge you, which we just saw the clip of you guys doing that.
Yeah.
And so Raquel's like, well, I don't know if Lala has a bad memory or if she thinks mean girl behavior is normal, but this gaslighting thing is exhausting.
So Raquel's like, it just seems like you guys need to pick up a hobby because, like, if all you can do is talk about me. And apparently hobby is, like, the worst thing you could ever say on Bravo. Flashback to Jill Zarin because Lala's like, a hobby, bitch. I don't care about this. What I do care about is how you've affected my friend. It's gross, I think it's dirty, and I think it's disgusting. And I think you need to find yourself elsewhere.
And Raquel's like, okay, well, accountability for making out with Schwartz, like, it's like probably a million other things I could have done that would have been a lot worse than that. Just, oh, really? I think your self-worth comes from the approval of a man. I think you have a mental breakdown coming, and I think you're going to need some love, and I think you're going to need some support.
I mean, not wrong. And then Raquel's
not
like,
wrong,
"What?"
but also coming from Lala. It's like, okay, you totally changed when you found your man. You totally
Yes.
became a real housewife of Beverly Hills, above everybody, with your PJ and your this and that. I can't.
And you know what? Listen, Ronnie, like, why are you coming from Lala? She's like with a man right now who's got a honeycomb tattoo. Like, that's hot. So Raquel's like, well, I always need love and support, and I appreciate people that give it to me. And Lala's like, well, you appreciate that bob their you appreciate that bob their head, and
You appreciate
people that bob their head and tell you that everything's good.
So, good night. Yeah, and Raquel's like, you have a good night too. And sticks out her tongue. So then we go to Katie and Kristen in the saddest, emptiest club, where, of course, they're going to end up. So Katie's like, tequila Katie likes to turn up in a rage text, but wine Katie takes things a little bit slower, but she still gets the same things done. And so she does her typical thing, which she did at Scheana's wedding last time, which is like make fun of shit. Or I guess that was Stassi they showed clips of making fun of shit. So she sits down, she's looking at wedding footage and making fun of it and being like, oh my God, like, look, the guy who married them is literally the same guy who married Scheana and Shay. And you're still crying over the same fucking loser. What's your fucking point? And you're still sitting here making fun of somebody else's wedding who's actually happy at the moment while you're stalking them in Mexico, ma'am.
Oh my God. I just looked at footage of Scheana's wedding. Her mom is still the same mom as in the first wedding. That is ridiculous.
Why would you hire somebody different? Hey, if they did a good job the first time, give them a call. Maybe you'll get a discount for the second time.
Maybe it's like her uncle. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's... Listen, I have died on a lot of really weird and strange and stupid hills. And this one, I think this is... So I know what it's like to die on a non-hill. And I think Katie is taking the cake with this one. So
you're sitting here at the end of a miserable week for you, watching literally the happiest person in the world right now, shitting on them because you're so fucking miserable, and then bragging that Tequila Katie is back. No, it's not Tequila Katie, because everybody's not sitting around relishing in it. You just look sad, dude.
I don't mind Katie ragging on the wedding because I think that's part of Vanderpump Rules. Like we always say, like, she's always just sort of like laying around, but it's like I just want her to rag better. So Katie's basically like saying how Kristen's like, so what happens next? Do we get to go be around human beings? And Katie's like, you know what? The same thing that's always been next for me. My healing process has sped up a lot further because of this weekend. And Christina's like, oh yeah, well, you have been hanging out with that cute boy that looks like Timothy Chalamet and Weird Al Yankovic at the same time. She's like, yeah, cute boy. And, he's got emotional intelligence and he does great parody songs. Okay. And it's like so much better than Schwartz's.
And she's like, I've only slept with 2 guys since Tom, and one is more casual, but he's 25 and I'm 36. I'm not old enough to be a cougar, so I'm a puma. How come we don't have those words for men? Actually, I think you call them dirty old pigs until they let you ride their PJs, from what I remember. But Christina's like, I'd love to meet him. She goes, well, now I can bring him around because I don't have to worry about Tom's feelings anymore. I was like, yes, finally. Maybe we can have a turn where Katie is actually happy the rest of the season. I'm actually looking forward to it. I've got my fingers crossed.
These two, everyone has made me mad at different points, but I actually am genuinely happy that she's realized she doesn't have to have some sort of friendship with Tom to move forward. Like, it doesn't matter. Who cares if there's a friendship? You guys are broken up. It's time to move forward. He's going to let you down over and over again in your friendship. It's going to be the same dynamics as you had, whether you're in the relationship or not. So move forward, bring around your new guy. And Tom Schwartz, you go off, you do your own thing, and you stop fucking around with Katie, like stop mentally manipulating her and just focus on you and whatever booty you want to get. And you guys live your lives and thrive and all that bullshit.
Yeah, and you try to do that because how this ends is slow motion. It's like the soap opera slow-mo where we see Katie being like, and now I don't care anymore about his feelings. It slow-mos into people cheersing at the wedding and then Brock dancing with Scheana and having the time of their lives. And then it just cuts to Katie slowly drinking her wine miserably with a miserable look on her face and fade out. So good luck in the future. You definitely deserve better. I hope you get it. Jeez, this show is stressing me out.
I don't know. I love the episode. I thought it was great. It was one of the few Bravo wedding episodes that I really enjoyed, because I generally do not enjoy the wedding episodes.
Well,
but
it's
this
one of the ones
had it
that
all.
actually hoodwinked me, where I actually started crying in it. It's just very rare for me, you know? So, well, I guess it's not really that rare now that I think about it. But anyway,
We're old
yeah, it was pretty
softies.
cute.
We make fun because it's a way to shield our hearts from our real emotions pouring out of us.
Hurt people, hurt people. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for being here. We will see you guys next week. Go check out our bonus episodes, our videos, all that stuff at Patreon, and get your tickets for our live shows over on watchwhatcrappens.com. Okay, we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King,
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Dana C, Dana Do. She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels, Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas. Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. We want to hang with Liz Lang. The incredible edible Matthews sisters. Nancy Cease and Desisto.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.